Welcome, race fans, to Sunset Speedway, where tonight it's round number 7 of the APC Late Model Series and round number 4 of the Quick Superstock Series, and is the Points Championship ever intense. 5 drivers separated by just 8 points in the top 5 of the APC Series. Jake Sheridan and Kyle Steckley are tied for the lead. The Quick Superstocks are close as well. And tonight's going to play a huge role in how that points battle carries out. We've also got a guest appearance tonight. Kenny Schrader, one of the more popular NASCAR drivers in history, is here to do battle with the rest of them. We've sent Clinton Jeffrey and Jamie Maudsley loose to go through the pits and get some interviews. Let's see what they've come back with.
Well, JR, a lot's been made about you loving or hating this cone. You got the anti-cone sticker right beside your number or your name on the car. What's the story? Is it something you don't like? It seems to bring a lot of drama. It seems to bring a lot of chaos at the end of these races. Is that why you don't like it?
I can tell you, I think the fans love it. It makes racing very interesting, but me as a driver, I fucking hate it.
That's fair. What is it you don't like about it?
From racing so many years, I just feel like the position you earned is what you should keep, and sometimes it hurts you at some of these tracks. I just don't like anything out of the norm. I don't know. I just don't like it.
So there you have it. JR's a purist, guys. He wants to keep the spots he earned.
Well, we're here with former NASCAR Cup driver and Sunset rookie here at tonight's Ken Schrader. And Ken, tell us about how this deal came together and joining us here tonight.
Well, we do some stuff up here throughout the year with APC. They're a Federated Auto Parts member. And we were up here doing some play days for customers last week, and they said, you want to run Saturday and go over to Oshweekon and run Monday and Tuesday? I said, hell yes, I do. So here we are.
Now, how many times a year do you still race?
Oh, I'll run minimum of 70 this year. I'll be in a car over 100 days.
What do you think about getting around here at Sunset?
It's a neat little place. Reminds me a lot of Slinger, Wisconsin. Good little track. What's the exciting part about it is I see rubber build up all around it, so I know it's later in the night you can move up and hopefully make some things happen.
And you've run these pro late models here in Canada before. What do you think of the competition and the level this series is at?
Well, you just got to look at the lap times to know the competition's unreal. I mean, everybody with the crate engine stuff and the tires are such a limiting factor. It's good. It's just keeps everybody close together.
Ken Schrader here at Sunset Speedway making his debut tonight as part of the Stewart's Equipment 100.
It's going to be a wild night here at Sunset. When we come back, it's time to go racing.
The NASCAR Pinty Series returns to the Big O for not one, but 2 action-packed nights of NASCAR on the dirt. Oshweekon Speedway hosts the Freshstone Dirt Classic on Monday, August 14th, and the Pinty's 100 Tuesday, August 15th. Last year, the action was wild. Don't miss out. Get your tickets today. Go to npsondirt.com for tickets and camping info.
Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Our savory potato sides can be prepared any way you like. Serve warm or chilled, as a main or as a side. Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Create your way to great taste.
Get ready to experience the NASCAR Pinty Series Power Hour. Join your host and wingman, Cam K, every Monday night at 7 p.m. on GeForce TV for an hour of non-stop excitement and in-depth analysis of the hottest racing series around. From the latest race highlights to expert analysis and insider commentary, you'll get an exclusive look at everything you need to know about the NASCAR Pinty Series. Tune in for the NASCAR Pinty Series Power Hour, the ultimate destination for race fans everywhere.
Welcome back to Sunset Speedway, where the boss has spoken. I've just been sitting here soaking in what Sandra Todish has to say, and I'm smarter because of it. But I'm actually, because Jamie Maudsley is beside me and Brendan Doherty, the fact that Sandra walked in, it actually tripled the IQ in the booth.
Easy.
So we're just chatting about things going on. They're working on tweaking schedules, so we don't believe the next thing on track that you're going to see is the Superstock qualifying the way we expected. We think we're going to see bone stocks on the track for their third and fourth heats. They've already run their first round of qualifying heats, but as Brendan mentioned a little bit earlier, it makes a lot more sense to put them out on the racetrack and with the treaded tires that they've got, run their next two heats, and then we'll try to get back onto the schedule that we were on. So I'm Adam Ross. Joining me, of course, Brendan Doherty, Jamie Maudsley. Brendan, how's this night going to look?
Dry. That's what we're going with. It's going to be really dry here for the rest of the night. As I pointedly said to a few people walking around in the rain, we found that 40%. That was all it was calling for. Like the forecast just kept pushing back and pushing back
so
and pushing back.
That means there's a 60% chance we're going to be good to go.
Exactly.
Perfect.
I'm all on the glass half full end of things, and right now we're on the good side of that. So
well, and last I checked, it was 0.1 millimeter is what was expected. So I actually think I sweat that much out over the course of a night. But we'll be able to get things rolling here fairly soon. You can see most of the track is relatively dry. Great job by the bone stocks that came out and did some track drying, and of course the Speedway vehicles that are out there. I don't think there's anyone in the back of that ambulance, but it'd be a whale of a ride.
You'd be holding on for. I don't think there's any seatbelts or anything, so you better hope you're strapped to the gurney or something. If not, you're in real trouble.
I want to see somebody ride the tire behind the truck.
Oh,
that would be.
I think by the end of the night we can find a volunteer from the beer garden for that.
Totally.
Now that's action.
I might be the most intelligent thing that you said. Well, not intelligent. The most entertaining thing. The best idea you've come up with all year for sure. Good to have you back, Jamie. You were in Michigan for the NASCAR weekend last weekend, so you missed out on Sauble Speedway.
I did. I saw enough rain, though. Got to see some more here tonight, but saw enough last weekend. Got to watch you guys doing your thing from Sauble, which was kind of cool. A little different, not being on the broadcast. But, it was a good race. Seemed like a good event up at Sauble, and we had a good time in Michigan. Got a little bit wet Sunday, but we stayed till Monday, toughed it out, and off we went.
That's what this sport is all about. Right there on the front straightaway. A kid hanging onto the fence, waiting for the action to come out.
He's cheering the safety vehicles.
Yeah, good
that's
news,
hardcore.
Mom. You can let him go right now, but when the cars come out, then you got to pull him back. We'll let it go for now. If he wants to hang, as long as he's not climbing the fence, we're okay. But you can let him stand at the fence right now. I don't think the ambulance is going to jump the wall at any point in time. If it does, my apologies, but
hey,
I don't have that in my cards for 2023. So
you've got to build those good habits early. So.
We jumped enough things last week with monster trucks here, so.
Yeah, was that a well-attended show?
Saturday night was packed.
Nice.
Sunday was good, not quite as good as Saturday night. Nothing beats a Saturday night. Monster trucks, cool air, but it was a great couple of days, 2 great shows, and still a little bit of remnants around from them here. So
I'm still a firm believer that when you talk about monster trucks on a Saturday night, you have to say Saturday, Saturday, Saturday.
What's we're going to sell you the whole seat, you're only going to need the edge or something like that. That old.
That's it.
I always the old when they used to come to Skydome, pizza kid seats are only $15. Grave digger and all that.
Grave digger.
All the old stuff from the TV back in the day.
So let's talk about what happened earlier on here. Of course, if you watch what went on at Sauble Speedway last week, you'd have been heartbroken like everybody was that Joe Lawrence absolutely grenaded the engine in his number 78. Clinton Jeffrey caught up with Joe a little bit earlier on, and here's what they had to say.
Maybe championship contender Joe Lawrence here at the Stewart Equipment 100, and your championship almost took a little bit of a blow last week at Sauble with a broken motor. Tell us how a new motor deal came together.
Honestly, just got to thank, Tom. He came over at the end of the night when everything was all done, said he had a motor sitting on the shelf. It was all ours if we wanted it. We just took the Sunday to kind of just do a family thing, hang out, and kind of regroup. We decided before we were heading home that we'd call Tom and say, hey, we'll come get that, and thank you so much to really just keep us going here. It helps so much. Paragon stepped up. Jamie Sutton really helped out to make it happen and really finish off the year here. So I got to thank him a lot. Really just the crew worked a ton of hours. I think we were up till 3 or 4 last night just finishing stuff up. We had a couple issues when we tested at Delaware last night. So I got to thank them. It's kind of funny when you do those late nights. It's always one more thing, and then all of a sudden, we're going to leave at 1 o'clock, and then it's 2 o'clock, and then it's 3 o'clock, and finally say, let's go home.
How's this Gibbons horsepower turn in Sunset Speedway tonight?
I'm a little upset because I think it was better than the one I had, but I'm going to try and not tell them that, so maybe I can buy it for a cheaper price.
Joe Lawrence, driver of the number 78, wheeling and dealing on the motors right now. Looking for a win here at Sunset Speedway tonight.
And the whole Tom Gibbons story. So at the banquet every year, we draw for a crate motor. Okay? If you get a bunch of chips when you walk in, and you can put them in different prizes. And, of course, a lot of guys just take the 10 chips right to the crate motor because it's worth, $8,000. I would say in the last 5 banquets, Tom Gibbons has won 2 crate motors. Twice he's won. So he had a whole stock of them, I guess, and that's where Joe has found that. Again, his one sponsor, Paragon Office Installations, stepping up to help out with that program. Great Lakes Concrete coming on partway through the season. It was good to see Joe get that sponsorship.
Joe Lawrence was fastest earlier on in the first practice session, so that engine's doing all right. Folks, we'll give you an update on how tonight's going to work. The bone stocks are going to run heats 3 and 4. After that will be qualifying for the APC Series. The Super Stock field is going to be lined up based on the rule book. They are going to scrap their qualifying, so we already have the starting lineup for them. They'll run their 50 laps right after APC qualifying. Then it'll be the 20-lap feature for the Bone Stocks, followed by the Stewart's and Kubota 100 for the APC Series. So, Brendan, we will bring you back on as we watch a Super Stock parade back to the pit area.
I just had a moment of nostalgia watching the Bone Stocks come up over the hill in turn 2 and onto the track, because well before like 2002, 2003, we didn't have the make ready chute on the back straightaway, so that was where you watched cars come up on the track. So I had a little moment of nostalgia watching them come up over the hill and onto the track. So
that hill cost me the twin 25s for hobby cars back in 1999, because I was coming out of the pits and the car was great that night, and I stalled it on the hill because you had to stop. With that club, you had to stop and see Sharon Yo. She was the official. Explain what you were doing in the pits, and she basically decided if you get to go back out. And I stalled it twice more on the hill, trying to get fired, get up the hill, and they went back to green, and I wasn't able to finish that race. So that hill is heartbreaking to me.
It's like the bane of most existences. Has I know a lot of drivers, when they're coming up, we got to stop and check, especially beginning of the year, make sure they got their safety sticker, they've been through tech, got their gloves on and all that. And then, when they don't, they got to stop on the hill, then you're riding the clutch. And apparently these late model clutches and stuff, they're expensive, I'm told. So drivers really get mad at that.
Yeah, it was no fun at all. Let's go racing. The Bone Stocks are about to get rolling. They're lined up there in turn number 3. Just a couple more Super Stocks to get fired up to return back to the pits.
And how about the numbers on these Bone Stocks? They just keep going up. They're breeding like rabbits.
It's been fantastic.
Chris Lawrence made it a goal at Delaware to get over 50 there, and a few weeks ago we did have over 50. We had close to 50 on Friday night. Started 34 cars in the feature, went green to checker with no yellows.
That's impressive. I mean, honest to goodness, the Bone Stocks here, they can do that a lot. They will go flag to flag, 20 laps, no questions asked. Maybe you get somebody that spins, but you don't have to throw the yellow. They get moving again. These drivers don't like drawing the caution, and they put on some fantastic racing for the entry-level division with drivers that are coming in and learning and basically starting their racing careers.
And the crowds react to them. Like, the crowds really enjoy it. They're hooting and hollering because they can relate to those cars.
And it's not, it's almost at Delaware anyways, it hasn't quite turned into that youthful division. Yeah, there's a lot of youth. Yeah, there's a lot of guys. But there's also a lot of guys who've been racing for years who just can't afford to go super stocking or late model racing, but still want to go racing every Friday. They've stepped down to the Bone Stocks because obviously they're a cheaper class to get involved with. And it's really, at our place, has really developed a lot of drivers over the years.
Yeah, and I mean, we got a fine example of that. The 18 5-second delay Jay Cutting, multi-time feature winner over the year here in what was the Thunder Car, now Super Stock divisions. Stepped away from the sport for a while just because the cost started to get up there. And, came back helping somebody with a Bone Stock. Now he's got one of his own, and he's going to start on the outside the front row. But leading him up, the 54 machine out of Newmarket, the Dan Scrap Cutting Fabrication Strong Foundations Honda Prelude. That is former feature winner here at Sunset Speedway. Cash Ireton, 18. That is 5-second delay Jay Cutting, as we mentioned, at Hall Landing. The Jiffy Lube Oshawa, pristine design, diamond glass, IPTV, performance science, custom steering, Honda Civic. 42 is the Barry Auto Care ride of Aiden Harper. The 0, that is Phil Givens. The 2-speed Motorsports Caldecott Millwright Pontiac Sunfire. Then it is Jordan Owen aboard the 68 machine. Feature winner here at Sunset last year. The Craft Automotive Repair Services, Function Informed, Ferndale Trim and Door, Sign Edge, Chevrolet Cobalt, 25X. That is Jake Bird. The 9 machine. That is Dana Damaris, the Magic Seal Acura Integra, driving out of the SKLD Motorsports stable. 13 is NASCAR Nicholas Reese, the Wiesmiller Timmermart 13 machine. 47 machine, that is Nathan Hawkins. Curtis Burnett aboard the 24 machine, and the 46 is Rookie of the Year contender out of Huntsville, Ben McPherson, the Smart Tuning and Test Preparation, Peter Smith Construction, Pine Hill Iron and Metal, McDonald Steel, Dunright Machinery Repair, Labracadabra Labras, Courtesy Auto, RW Automotive, the Traveling Fur Babies, Green Neck Outfitters, Canadiana Earthworks, and Trillium Off-Road Recovery aboard the 46 machine. The lights are extinguished on the McMaster Buick GMC Pace Truck. As the field will circle around, they will be in the control of Ben Dennis on the starter stand. He'll have the green flag in hand as we get rolling with heat race number 3 for the Sunset Speedway Bone Stocks.
That Honda on the outside of the front row, that's got to be a new race car, right?
Yes, brand new this
Because
year.
there's not a mark on it yet.
Not a mark on it yet, and one of the newest Civics I've seen turn into a race car here in Ontario. The teammates out in front. Ayrton gets the jump at the 54 machine. Cutting quickly slides in line to second. Givens up to third now in the 0 machine, working the high side of the racetrack. He'll look to the outside of the 18 when they get to turn number 3. Hayden Harper trying to hold off Jordan Owen in the 68 machine as they race side by side down into turn number 3. The 54 of Ayrton, though, will lead him back to the stripe to lead lap number 1, but here comes the 0 Givens up on the high side of the racetrack. Former Velocity 250 champion, 4 Autumn Colors Classic champion in the 0 machine, up on the high side of the racetrack, looking to take second away from 5-second delay. Jay Cutting fires back on the bottom side down into turn number 3. Here comes the 0 up on the high side. He'll get the run and lead him back for second at the line as they cross over. He'll now set his sights on the 54. Cash Ayrton out in front. Ayrton, a feature winner here at Sunset last year, aboard that Cutting Fabrication Dan Scrap 54 machine. Givens almost able to clear Cutting with a little bit of contact. Givens having a rough night, had contact in the first heat race that sent him pointed the wrong way. Cutting, though, going to move up the racetrack. That's going to open the door for Jordan Owen. They'll come up on Curtis Burnett in the 24 machine. He'll move to the bottom side of the racetrack as he goes one lap down here in qualifying heat race number 1, making his second career bone stock start here tonight. Givens back on the bicycle, trying to run down the 54 machine of Ayrton at the front of the field. Ayrton slides down the racetrack. Givens going to look to the high side, maybe a crossover move through 1 and 2. Here comes the run to the inside, down the back straight with the 54 up the hill. The 0 has the nose in, up to the door. They'll be side by side in turn number 3. Can Ayrton do something up on the high side of the racetrack with the 0 machine now that Givens has the run? Givens will lead him back to the line that time. Bias cross legs in the air. 5 laps in, 5 laps to go. Jordan Owen all sorts of sideways in the Kraft Automotive Repair Service 68 machine, able to collect that ride and hold on to the 3rd spot as Jay Cutting looks to his inside now in turn number 3. Givens out in front, but not able to pull away from Ayrton in the 54 quite yet. Ayrton trying to run him back down here. Cutting wants that 3rd spot back, has yet to let the 68 of Jordan Owen get away. Owen working the high side of the racetrack. He'll power out down the back straightaway, see if he can close the door and move to the bottom side of the racetrack in 3 and 4. He'll do so and secure the 3rd spot safely from Jay Cutting now. Hayden Harper in the 42 machine, the very auto care ride, runs in the 5th spot, a little ways back from the battle for 3rd. Laps winding down here for Phil Givens. He'll see popsicle sticks at the line this time by 2 to go for the 2-Speed Motorsports Caldecott Millwright Enidville Garage number 0 machine of Phil Givens. He's been quick every time he's come out here. This Givens' own car, normally racing under the BT Racing Stable out at Delaware Speedway, but he's come out to play at Sunset with his own Pontiac Sunfire that he's been quite successful with over the years. He'll see the white flag this time by. One more trip around the park for the 0 machine. In qualifying heat race number 3, a healthy, almost half straightaway lead over the 54 machine of Ayrton. Into 3 off of 4, coasted home from here. Givens going to pick up the win. It'll be Ayrton for 2nd. Owen's going to come home in 3rd, Cutting in 4th, and Harper will round out the top 5. So a great heat race, flag to flag, everyone being respectful and also helping drive the track as well at the same time. Just a few little wet spots left out there, mostly down around the bottom side of the racetrack at this point in time, which is great to see, and we'll dry in a little bit more with qualifying heat race number 4. But pulling down a victory lane, the Caldecott Millwright 2-Speed Motorsports Enidville Garage number 0 machine. Put your hands together. Your Heat 3 winner, Phil Givens.
Givens was in action last night, Delaware Speedway, 6th place finish. He drives one of the Lawrence rental rides down there on Friday nights.
Oh, forgot the sticker. Got to get that Dave Frank sticker. You can't be getting away without that. Dave won't let it happen.
Dave just gave the drone the thumbs up. That's awesome.
All right, 4th and final qualifying heat race to set the field for the feature race tonight. 20 laps will be the distance later on for the Sunset Speedway Bone Stocks. Lead them out the 53 machine, the KLink Dave Thom Enterprises Candace Physiotherapy ride. That is Steve Oakes. Aboard the Acura Integra 22 machine, that is Josh Berry. No, not that Josh Berry. This one's out of Minising, driving the Juniors Haulage Auto Trim Design, a Berry 22 machine. Then it's the 16 machine out of Arthur. That is Curtis Stewart. The Hammer and Caldecott Millwright Services aboard the 16 ride. 55 machine, Kurt Points leader here at Sunset Speedway. Out of Bowler, the Northern Fletcher's Contracting, Mueller Custom Builds, Mike Few Flooring and Renovations, ROK Landscaping, and Limits Liners. That is Brandon Steele. The 2 machine is Calvin Reese, a runner-up for points here at Sunset Speedway last year. The big Brian Sons towing, Highway 400 transmission, Shepherd Docks. One-stop brakes, bullseye axe, throwing Frank's tin wires and ramps. Aboard the 2 machine, 90 machine, that is Greg Duncan. The Vacuum Works, Hello Tire, Richmond Hill, Missy's Creations Ride. 17 is Andre Luss, feature winner this year here at Sunset. The Aurelia Modification, FMR Scrap Bars, Material Disposal, Northern Joiner Creature Designs, 17 ride, 26. That is Big Brian Booth behind the wheel. Big Brian and Sons towing 26 machine. And the 14 is Andrew Schilling rounding out the field here tonight. McMaster Buick GMC Pace Truck. Hits pit road. Qualifying heat race number 4. Comes the green flag off at turn 4. We're racing with the bone stocks once again. Oaks comes up through the gearbox. Gets the jump down the bottom side of the racetrack. Gets clear of Barry. Barry going to have to contest with the 16 of Stewart. Now side by side. Stewart has a little bit of trouble coming up to speed off at turn number 2. And that's going to allow Brandon Steele to work the high side of the racetrack. He'll go up to the high rent district, up to the 3rd lane of the racetrack, looking to the outside of the 22 of Josh Berry. The Juniors Haulage 22 machine rolling down around the bottom side of the racetrack. Going to slip back to 3rd as Brandon Steele continues to assert his dominance here in the Bone Stock Divisions. He races down the back straightaway. Working to close in on the 53, Steve Oaks. Made some setup changes on that 53 car and really brought it to life as he's trying to hold on to the top spot. Gets a little bit of a late entry into turn 1 and 2, and that's going to hurt him and allow Brandon Steele to roll the high side of the racetrack and take over the top spot. Andre Lusk on the move up to the 4th spot, trying to close in on the 22 of Josh Berry. She's going to bring the 2 of Calvin Reeser with her. The auto trim design of Berry, number 2 machine. Looked to be knocking on the back door of the 17 that time. Berry with a slides up the racetrack with a late entry into 1. That's going to open the door for Andre Lusk. She stuck that car in there. A little bit of contact with those 2 as they race off at 2 and down the back straightaway. Lusk quickly able to get clear of Berry. Berry sideways up the hill through 3 and 4. That's going to open the door for Calvin Reeser now. Reeser trying to get the run in the Shepherd Docks Berry Nissan number 2 machine. Trying to get that Nissan Sentra wound up around the bottom side of the racetrack. Gives up a little bit of power to the Cobalt in the 22 machine of Josh Berry. But better handling for the 2 as he gets down into turn 3 and 4. Trying to take the position away. Cross flags in the air for Brandon Steele. Looking to go back to back in heat race action is the 55 machine. Your current points leader here at Sunset Speedway. A healthy lead. Andre Lusk now able to get past Steve Oaks and take over the 2nd spot as they race into turn number 3 and 4. Oaks slides back to the 3rd spot. Berry now trying to pressure the 2 of Calvin Reeser. Look at the Reeser's inside. Reeser moved up the racetrack that time through 3 and 4. Trying to hold on to the 4th spot as he closes in on the 53 of Steve Oaks here. Past the halfway point. 3 laps to go at the line. This time by for Brandon Steele. The Limitless Liners 55 machine. Doing a great job out in front so far. Reeser trying to close in on the 53 of Oaks down the back straightaway. Battle for 3rd picking up. Reeser to the high side of the racetrack. The Big Brian and Sons towing number 2 machine. Trying to make the high rent district work. Reeser very good on the high side here at Sunset Speedway. And keeping that momentum wound up in that Nissan Sentra. Oaks trying to get the power down the back straightaway. Trying to hold on to the 3rd spot here in our final heat race of the night. White flag in the air for Brandon Steele and Andre Lusk. They have checked out on the battle for 3rd. That is where the race is at the moment. Oaks has picked up the pace down the bottom side of the racetrack. Reeser trying to pinch him down on entry into turn number 3. Steele with the win. Lusk for 2nd. Who will be 3rd at the line? It'll be a drag race off of 4. Calvin Reeser by a nose over Steve Oaks, and I believe it'll be Josh Berry holding off Big Brian to round out the top 5.
And that'll do it for Bone Stock Heat Race APC Series qualifying up next.
Right now down in Victoria, the Northern Reflections Contracting, Mueller Custom Builds, Mike Through Flooring and Renovations, ROK Landscaping and Limits Liners, 55 machine, put your hands together, Heat 4 winner, Brendan Steele. And we will see them up with the adjusted card now. It'll be APC qualifying, then the Quick Wig Super Stocks for their 50 lap. And we'll have the break with the Bone Stocks in between the Super Stocks and the late models, which at that point in time, I'll return for the Bone Stocks.
Well, thanks so much, Brandon.
Just waiting for all our APC officials to get in place now for late model qualifying.
And as we mentioned, the Super Stocks will line up based on the rule book. So the only qualifying we're going to see is for the APC series, and they are in groups based on their practice times earlier on. As we look up there into turn number 3, it looks like at least the first couple of groups are all in place. Some surprising names coming out early on, so I believe we might see some early drivers lay down a pretty big time. Drivers that run pretty well here at Sunset Speedway going to come out in those first couple of groups. Things have been so tight, though. I mean, this field is separated by hundredths of a second, thousands of a second. Looks like Chris Lawrence pointing something out on the racetrack, maybe a piece of debris down there.
Yeah, there's a couple of them down there pointing out a piece of debris down in turn 1. We'll see the Sunset Speedway official head down there.
When was the track record set here at Sunset Speedway, Jamie?
2018 by Brandon Watson.
How many track records does Brandon Watson hold?
A lot. He could hold, I don't think it's all of them, but it's most of them.
Yeah, I would say so. He's definitely got plenty of them as we see some of the crews heading down into the pits.
And some stuff that stood for years and years. So we'll see if it's cooled off enough tonight here to take a crack at the record. They were about half a second off in practice earlier. So we'll see what happens in qualifying. The answer is 4. 4 tracks he has records at. Our stats man's on it tonight, Adam.
I thought Nathan was inviting me to read between the lines when he stuck up all those fingers.
Thought he was a Ric Flair fan.
I hadn't seen that for ages. The 4 Horsemen, there you go.
Arn Anderson, Tully Blanchard, and Barry Windham, I think.
Well, it changed over time.
Yeah. The 4th one was a rotating door.
Basically. So last week we were up at Sauble Speedway, and we got to work with Jim Irvin and Dave Middleton, the announcers up there. And Dave was telling me that back in the early 80s, he worked for Maple Leaf Wrestling.
Right on.
He did some work, and he told me the money they got paid. Holy moly.
To work for Maple Leaf Wrestling or the wrestlers?
No, to work for Maple Leaf Wrestling on the call. It's more than you or I make today, that's for sure.
Adam, I got Dale Shaw down here. Dale, you've told me you had a lot of late nights this week, multiple cars putting together for this series. You just told me you reinvented the wheels. So what's the biggest thing you've been working on so far?
The biggest thing is me getting out from behind the wheel. We really had a lot more time to really try and make our cars better. Like, that was what this year was all about, and really proud of our efforts. I think we had a real good shot with Junior at Sauble last weekend. We had like 3 flat tires, and I think we've really found some speed lately, and I'm pretty excited, especially to go back to Sauble. I think we got really shot next weekend, and hopefully Eric can have another good run here tonight, and put it up front.
You had some great runs, but you've had some bad luck too. I mean, that Junior run last week must have had you guys really feeling like you can do this.
Yeah, honestly, like, our cars, it's night and day. Like, when we say we reinvented the wheel, like, our philosophy's changed, everything's changed, and kind of excited to get back behind the wheel here in a couple weeks and have some fun myself. But I think we're going qualifying here.
Good luck. Dale Shaw, owner of a few cars here in the rental program, up to Adam and Jamie to get ready for the first group out for APC late model qualifying.
Leading us onto the racetrack from Pickering, the Real Landscaping Plus Langeal Metal Recycling 94 is Corey Luciano. Behind him, a driver who had a podium finish here in round number 1 earlier this year from Dundas. The SDR Seating, AJ&J Furniture, Stage It With Style, 74 of Eric Della Riva. The 52 is from Mount Bridges, the Pride Seeds, Reynolds Trucking Service, Vibrant Farms 52 is Jake Sheridan. The 89C comes from Drumbo, the London Recreational Racing, Route 19 Auto Parts 2-Speed Motorsports, 89C of Sean Chenoweth, and the 0 from Oswego, the Glenn's Tires Racing, Oswego Speedway, number 0 of Glenn's Tires.
Who would have thought you'd see the 52 of Jake Sheridan in the, quote, slow cars here tonight? They struggled in practice, and there's a problem on that 52 as he lets Chenoweth get to his outside. We'll see if now the problem's continued for the 52, so your point leader out of power down the backstretch. Looks like he's going to be coming down pit road, and this is drama right here in qualifying, Adam.
Comes into tonight tied for the points lead with Kyle Steckley. He'll bring that down into the pits, and that crew going to have a look at that machine and see what is ailing the 52. I'm sure Clinton Jeffrey will be over there to check in as the white flag flies.
Sean Chenoweth, your fastest car on the Speedway so far with a 14.546, and then De La Riva goes a little quicker. Runs a 4:59. Eric De La Riva to the top of the board. Chenoweth second, Luciano's third, and Stiers is fourth.
One more opportunity here. And Sean Chenoweth charging off at turn number 4. Couldn't do it. Eric De La Riva going to be the fast car out of this group with a 14.458. Sean Chenoweth with a 14.559. 14.586 for Corey Luciano, a 14.822 for Glenn Stiers, and then Jake Sheridan with a 16.080 when they've got their work cut out for them. Our next group, and Junior Farley has already got way too much of a lead. The driver from Guelph in the burn work, where PV Mark, Epic Raceware 72, that's Junior Farley. He's going to climb on the binders and let the field sort of gather in behind him. Next up from Cambridge, the Polar Blair Motorsports Rymat Mini Storage 97 is Blair Wickett. The 22 from Milverton, the Pennzoil APC Auto Parts Center's 22 is Kyle Steckley. And then the 52S from Fenton, Missouri, the APC Pennzoil Federated Auto Parts 52 of Kenny Schrader. Last on the track from Bell River, the FCF Custom Fab Rosati Construction number 22 of Chase Pincinot.
Cars under the green now turning laps. And so far, Steckley the quickest of the bunch. Now Farley is fourth quickest. Steckley fifth. Wickett up to third. Kyle Steckley to the top of the board.
New fast time, it's Kyle Steckley with a 14.449.
Epic Raceware Pro qualifying. White flag set to come out. You want to be in the top 10. Bonus for sitting on the pole if you can be fast qualifier, but you want to get in the top 10 and be part of that 10-car invert for the starting order tonight.
White flag being displayed by Sean Gibbs. Blair Wickett up to P2 in that number 97. Ken Schrader down in the 8th spot. Chase Pincinot up to 4th as the checkered flag flies. Final few cars going to roll across. Ken Schrader jumps up a spot, so we got Kyle Steckley at the top of the heap in the 22. Blair Wickett second in the 97. Eric De La Riva third in the 74. The 22P at Chase Pincinot fourth. And Sean Chenoweth still hanging in there in the top 5. He rounds out the top 5 in the 89C.
Well, guys, down here quick, Jake Sheridan's got engine trouble. They don't know what the situation is. They're walking around. Jake has stormed off. Nikki's standing here waiting to figure it out. We're going to follow this story tonight. The point leader's got engine trouble tonight, guys.
Smaller groups now, just 4 cars on the track, being led by the number 54 from Orono, the North Country Property Maintenance. B&W Enterprises 54, it's Danny Benedict. Car number 41 tonight from Aurelia, the HumberviewParts.ca 41, it's Taylor Holdaway. The 84 is from Cambridge. The Cambridge Rigging Transaxle H2Go Mobile Wash All Automotive 84, J.R. Fitzpatrick. And then the number 10 from Southampton, the Tom Gibbons Concrete Finishing Graham Family CarQuest number 10, it's Tom Gibbons. Danny Benedict jumps into the top 5. He'll take the 4th spot on lap number 2. We expect they'll keep getting quicker. J.R. Fitzpatrick knocks him down a run. Taylor Holdaway not yet into the top 10 in that 41 machine. J.R. Fitzpatrick with the 4th quickest time. Tom Gibbons, he'll move into 6th in that number 10, just behind Danny Benedict in the 54.
Checker flag set to fly. And Benedict will be the first one that wraps up his qualifying effort. He will sit 5th right now. All the way in 8th. There's J.R. Fitzpatrick to the line. Will remain 4th. And the 10 of Tom Gibbons will remain 6th. And just a quick note, 41 at Holloway is running points tonight under the 97D for Tyler DiVincenzo.
Important to note for sure. Here comes the final group of 4. Leading the way in the Great Lakes Concrete, Captain Crisp, APC number 78, it's Joe Lawrence. Second in line from Dorchester, the APC Auto Parts Canusa Automotive Warehousing, number 3 of Shea Gemmel. The 31 needs no introduction in these parts from Oro Medonti, the 2-Speed Motorsports Caldecott Millwright Servicing 30 Services, number 31W, it's Rick Spencer Walt. And last but not least from Chesley, the 17 Ridgeline APC Farrier Contracting sponsored late model, it's Josh Stoddy.
And again, a great job by some of the sponsors on Joe Lawrence's car to step up, including Paragon Office Installations. Got a motor under the hood of that 78. And he thinks it's a pretty good bullet, too.
So the top 6 are locked into the top 10. Kenny Schrader is on the bubble. Sean Chenoweth. Taylor Holdaway is 8th. Joe Lawrence jumps up to 5th. That bumps Kenny Schrader.
How about that? Joe Lawrence with some speed, too. Stoddy 4th now.
Joe Lawrence lost a little bit of time that lap. Shea Gemmel comes across. We have yet to see him in the top 10. Rick Spencer Walt jumps up to P6.
So Pinsino sitting on the bubble right now.
New fast time, it's Joe Lawrence.
Well, they've wanted that pole. They don't have one yet this year. And how about that new power plant in the 78? On the Epic Racewear pole position right now. We'll see if he can get knocked off or will he stay. And it looks like, Josh Stoddy!
Fast time by 4 1,000ths of a second on the final lap. It is Josh Stoddy. So locked into our top 10, Josh Stoddy in the 17, the 78, Joe Lawrence, 22, Kyle Steckley, 97, Blair Wickett, 74, Eric Della Riva. Remember, he was in the very first group. 6th through 10th is J.R. Fitzpatrick in the 84, the 31W, Rick Spencer Walt, 54, Danny Benedict, 10, Tom Gibbons, and then the 22P of Chase Pinsino.
11th was Taylor Holdaway in the 41H, 89C of Sean Chenoweth was 12th. Ken Schrader comes home 13th in qualifying. Junior Farley 14th. 15th, Corey Luciano. 16th, Shea Gemmel. He struggled to find time as well. Glenn Stiers in 17th. Jake Sheridan in 18th. They had a problem with the rear end. They were leaking some rear end fluid out of the Gemmel car earlier. They were having a tough time finding a plug for the rear end. The one that came with the car today, it's somewhere out there on the racetrack. So it looks like they've got it plugged up, but really cost them some time in practice, and looks like it's affected the performance of that 3 car. Just to let you know how this is going to shake out. It's looking to me like we've got Spencer Walt and Pinsino as the only 2 non-full-time drivers. They will start 10th and 9th, and then all the other 8 drivers that are inside the top 10 will get flip-flopped in the reverse order of points. And Clint has joined, or has found our Epic Pole Racewear.
Well, Josh, you know what a great. And now at the end you got it in. That's the final run there. The possible second you picked up that fast time.
Yeah, you got to wheel these things, man. And I think we found a little bit in the last couple weeks. We were quick at Sauble, and we're quick today. And it's thanks to my guys. They've been working their butts off to get the car where it needs to be. And Stewart's Equipment, thanks for coming on board with our series. And yeah, hopefully we got something here.
There's your Epic Racewear fast time. Stop.
Great to hear from Josh Stoddy. With that, we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, it's time to go quick Superstock racing here at Sunset Speedway.
The NASCAR Pinty Series returns to the Big O for not 1, but 2 action-packed nights of NASCAR on the dirt. Oshweekend Speedway hosts the Freshstone Dirt Classic on Monday, August 14th, and the Pinty's 100 Tuesday, August 15th. Last year, the action was wild. Don't miss out. Get your tickets today. Go to npsondirt.com for tickets and camping info.
When your dream car becomes a nightmare, leaving you frustrated, stranded, and broke, you say,
"Goodbye, you piece of shit. Let's take it to TKC."
What? You gotta pee?
TKC!
Let's take this piece of shit to TKC Metal Recycling. They pay cash for scrap cars.
Yahoo!
TKC will recycle your piece of car. Got a piece of car? Visit TKC Metal Recycling, 20 Cushman Road, St. Catharines.
Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Our savory pasticides can be prepared any way you like. Serve warm or chilled, as a main or as a side. Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Create your way to great taste.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick Quick perfected fire. Quick Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick Quick retailer at quickquick.com.
Rev up your engines and get ready for some high-octane action. GeForce TV is your one-stop destination for all the best racing action across Ontario. With free live coverage of the ABC Series, Bushweekend Speedway, Southern Ontario Sprints, and much more. You won't miss a single moment of the excitement. Whether you're a diehard fan or a casual viewer, GeForce TV has everything you need to stay up to date on the latest racing news and events. Head to our website at geforcetv.net and start watching today. The APC Series on GeForce TV is brought to you by Tiffany Gate. Indulge in a world of fresh meals, sides, salads, and more.
Welcome back to Sunset Speedway, where it is time to go super stock racing. Let's introduce you to tonight's starting lineup. Rolling off 21st from Hillsdale, Ontario, the Dwayne Clugston Zolo Realty Bowman Farm 65, it's Matt McGrath. Starting 20th from Guelph, the Fox's Bakery Stewart's Equipment number 63, Cole Burrows. 19th from Barrie, the WHS Automotive Jordan Dean Matco Tools number 83, Johnny Morrison. 18th from Woodville, the DeBello Towing Bobcat of Peterborough number 16 of Anthony DeBello. 17th from North Bay, the HumberviewParts.ca number 29, it's Paul Pepper. 16th from Innisfil, the Barrie Frame and Alignment number 23, Connor Maltese. 15th from Port Hope, the Stewart's Equipment Curtis Septic number 21, Marley Owen. 14th from Stainer, the Zankar Homes 48, it's the Bully, Dwayne Baker. Starting 13th from Otterville, the Spark Power Castrol Edge APC Auto Parts Centers number 88, Rick Verburn. 12th from Stouffville, the 49 is Miles Tyson. 11th from Southampton, the Canadian Crane Rentals number 33, Roy Wilkie. Now, race fans, your top 10. Starting on the outside of row number 5 from Mount Hope, the Queenston Chevrolet Buick GMC, Fielding Estate Winery, Pure Energy Dance Studio, number 93, Carson Nagy. 9th from Brampton, the Bester Forest Products, Leslie Ford, Shelby Roofing and Sheet Metal, number 36, it's the Thrillbilly, Lane Zardo. 8th from Elsa Craig, the Inventory Express Lubricants, Carter Trucking, Lux Homes, Ahmed Waka's number 1, Trevor Culver. Seventh from Plattsville, the London Recreational Racing, Mannheim Apex Oil, Caldecott Millwright Services, number 89C, Sean Chenoweth. 6th from Oro, the Elmer's Flighting Supply, number 30, Gord Shepard. 5th from Acton, the Stewart's Equipment, NRD Byproducts, number 56, Brandon McFerrin. 4th from London, the Douglas Windows and Door, APC Auto Parts Center, Dock Stater Property Maintenance, number 28, Ryan Dyson. Starting 3rd from Ancaster, the APC Auto Parts Center's Mitchell Cycle, Robson Scrap Metal, number 07, Steve Book. And your front row on the outside of row 1 from Innisfil, the Guns Auto Service, number 48X, Colton Everingham. And your pole sitter from Stouffville, the Way Freight Services 905 Customs, Line X Newmarket, number 17, Garrett Teemersma. Well, that's the starting lineup. 50 laps is the distance. And Jamie Maudsley, the crews have made their way down onto pit road. If all goes well, they're not going to see their drivers down pit road at any point during this race, but if they're needed to be called into action, they are ready to rumble down on pit lane.
Well, we've seen a lot of these events over the years go green to checkered with no yellows, so entirely possible. Great field of 21 super stocks here this evening. And got to put a big shout out to Nick Ramsey, unable to be here tonight. He had a medical issue, unable to race tonight. They put Steve Book behind the controls of that vehicle here tonight to get it done, and we wish all the best to Nick Ramsey. Also like to wish all the best to my buddy Doug Stewart. Took a pretty wild lick at Delaware last night in his late model. Had a throttle stick in turn 2 and hit the abutment where you enter the Speedway in turn 2. Pretty hard crash. The car is junk. Luckily, Doug okay. Just a little beaten and bruised this morning. But shout out to Doug Stewart. Hopefully he's enjoying the broadcast and recovering there. And I got to put a shout out to my cousin Dan. He just texted me, say he's watching. And how's this for scary? I got a text from my buddy Justin. He says you and I are scary on a 75-inch TV.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, like you.
I'm better seen or better heard than seen. No, nobody will doubt that.
I say it all the time. I got a face made for radio, Adam.
So we're just awaiting the field to roll off of the back straightaway, the staging lane there. The Sunset Speedway pace truck awaits in turn number 3, and great crowd on hand. A little bit of a sun shower earlier on, but they got the track dried up, and we are ready to go racing. We have 170 laps of feature action, 50 for the super stocks, 100 for the late models, and 20 for the bone stocks.
Always a fun time here at Sunset Speedway. You see our drone operator getting the close-up of Sean Gibbs.
By far the most popular of all of the people associated with G-Force TV is Abby the drone pilot. People want to be Abby. Sean Gibbs, if you can knock that drone out of the sky with a flag, I'll buy you an ice cream cone.
Abby, I wouldn't go near it.
Oh, there you go. We know we can count on him.
The dare is on.
So Stewart's Equipment and Kubota sponsoring the Superstocks and the late models here tonight. What a great partner of motorsports here in Ontario, short track racing, Stewart's Equipment.
What a display they had out front, too. Lots of equipment to look out, some good Kubota stuff. Stewart's Equipment, a longtime sponsor of a number of cars on tour, as well as the series itself. We'd like to thank them for their support over the years for sure. Major sponsor on the 56 of Brandon McFerrin coming out here in just a minute.
I believe Marley Owen as well. And here they come off of the staging lane. 21 beautifully prepared Superstocks. Of course, Garrett Teemersman on the heels of a horrible season benefits from the handicap. And how about that? Colton Everingham put some vinyl on that 48X.
Got some sponsors there. Got some assistance, so good to see him out. They've struggled with that car. They struggled with that car at the start of the year, but they get it a little bit better each and every week. We'll see how they do tonight. And probably the hottest guy in the province is the wheelman behind that 93 car. A couple wins at Delaware this year, as well as one at Peterborough. And he's your point leader heading into the night.
If there is a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde of short track racing in Ontario, it's got to be Carson Danke. The sweetest. You can't even imagine him doing anything aggressive if you meet him in person. Just the sweetest kid you'd ever want to meet. Put him behind the wheel of that race car and he can make magic. He's not going to be pushed around out there. He's just a heck of a wheelman.
Yep, getting it done all season long. Again, a big win at Peterborough back in June.
And he's done some winning down at Delaware Speedway. He's got wins at a few different racetracks.
He's leading all the points he can lead right now. Leading the points at Delaware, leading the Quick points here tonight by 3 markers over Lane Zardo. And those two, they've been putting on shows each and every, well, not only Quick races, but at Delaware on Friday nights. The two of them just been going at it.
It's great to watch young racers like that do battle, and there's a couple of veterans out here that can keep everyone in check. As the field's starting to take shape.
Now, Trevor Culver's brother has actually been driving a bone stock this year, and he picked up a B feature win last night. We are now referring to him as the B-Main Bandit because he's got a bunch of them this year. He doesn't like qualifying through the A. He likes running that extra race. Trevor Culver's brother Justin getting behind the wheel after 13 years, out from behind a race car this year and having a blast at Delaware in their bone stock program.
And that's really cool to see.
That's one of those rental rides that funds the Lawrence late model program.
The Lawrence Racing Empire. Man,
I'll never forget. Joe would have been 14, 15 years old, and I show up to a practice at Delaware Speedway, and here's Joe on his skateboard. He skateboarded from his house to the racetrack to come watch practice. Here's his $10. Couldn't legally sign him in, but they let him anyways.
You got to reward that.
I think
kind
the
of enthusiasm.
the statute of limitations is run out on that one now.
How beautiful is the Paul Pepper number 29? Man, that car looks good.
Good looking race car. But as much as I love a good looking race car, Adam, I'm more inclined to watch a fast race car. So we'll see if the speed matches the look.
They all look good in victory lane. That was always my take. I mean, that's a lot of work. When you get to August and your car still looks that good, you've put a lot of effort into your racing program.
Either that or you just replaced a bunch of panels from last week, one of the two. That happens too.
Little of column A, little of column B. So give these drivers a couple of extra laps out there to feel things out, see where... I don't think there's any moisture still on the track, so
I doubt they would have qualified the late models in that case.
No.
I wouldn't want to be in one.
Stewart's Equipment promotional vehicle leading the way out there.
Pace truck for the pace truck.
Everybody needs a helping hand now and then.
Interesting to see how Tamirsma does here on his home track. Colton Everingham, also a regular here at Sunset. And you get back into Steve Book, who he's probably an expert everywhere, I think. He's run a lot of different racetracks over the years.
I wonder how nervous he is behind the wheel of someone else's car. You know, Steve Book's a great race car driver. He's like you say, he's competed everywhere.
I've watched him for 30 years. I can't say as I've ever seen Steve Book nervous, period. So
I would think just because it's not his equipment, right? You know, he wants to bring it home, roll it onto the trailer. But he's starting up there in the third spot. He's going to have to go elbows up. These drivers are aggressive. 1 to go at this stripe. Next time off of turn number 4, we'll see the green flag on the Stewart's Equipment in Kubota 50 for the Quick Super Stocks.
This is going to be good. Going to be good to watch the 93 of Nagy and the 36 of Zardo cutting through the field. Sean Chenoweth has not been any kind of slouch in his 89C all year. Culver, a winner at Delaware, still hasn't solved the Sunset riddle.
Look at Tiemersma hanging back as the pole sitter. He sets the pace. Colton Everingham gets out into no man's land. Green flag flies. Tiemersma with a great launch. He'll lead the way into turn 1.
Tiemersma on the bottom. Colton Everingham side by side with Steve Book for second. Tiemersma will clear that duo. Now Everingham closes the door on Book. To the right side of Book, it's Ryan Dyson. That's the battle for third down into 1.
Book able to clear that 28. He didn't drive up to the wall. He left the lane there as we got one smoking down into the corner. They locked up the brakes. Tiemersma out in front. Everingham second, and then Steve Book settling into third.
Brandon McFerrin taking on the bottom. How about that? Quickly up into fifth spot. Going to bring Chenoweth with him. Ryan Dyson caught in the outside groove and backsliding severely.
Whoa, Steve Book got a little squirrely off of turn 2. Brandon McFerrin to the inside. Cord Shepard was sort of stuck in the middle of the groove further back, but out in front. It is all GT in that Way Freight 17.
Well, with just 2 races left to go and a 3-point lead, or a 3-point deficit, Zardo's got to make up some spots here on Nagy, and he's doing it so far. He's a couple spots ahead of your point leader, Carson Nagy, deeper in the field.
Yeah, Zardo got a better spot, picked up a couple of positions quickly, but Carson Nagy, you can see he's quick out there as Ryan Dyson continues to slide the wrong way.
And Colton Everingham is definitely holding Brandon McFerrin up. McFerrin beat down the bumper last time into 3 and 4. He's there in that 56, and he's got to get going, light the wick, because he's got Chenoweth and Zardo absolutely breathing down his neck.
You can only poke at the Colton Everingham so long. If you've seen him out of his race car, you would not mess with that young man.
He's a big lad for sure. Now, McFerrin's going to try to spin out the high side. Can't pull it off again. He'll try to roll the top in 3 and 4. Everingham will give him the groove on the outside. They're side by side for second down into 1.
Steve Book just sort of inadvertently blocked Carson Nagy out there up in the high groove, so Nagy had to give up one of the spots he had already passed. Things are stacking up. Brandon McFerrin got around the 48. Colton Everingham. Sean Chenoweth up to the high side as well. Lane Zardo sticking to the bottom of the racetrack. Chenoweth going to try to make that work going the long way.
Oh, 3 wide. This isn't going to be pretty. Zardo on the bottom, Chenoweth up top, Everingham in the middle.
Oh, nice job, Colton Everingham. He lifted there and probably saved us a wreck. Did a favor to Sean Chenoweth. Lane Zardo to the inside in that number 36. Great side-by-side battle for the third spot.
Smart racing IQ by Everingham right there. Colton probably didn't have the car to keep up with Zardo, and Chenoweth just backed out and saved a possible wreck down there. Now he's got Shepard breathing down his neck. Nagy's got places to go, but he's got nowhere to go.
11 laps complete out of the 50. A little bit of bumper check through 1 and 2 as Gord Shepard lifted to get a run on Colton Everingham on exit. They're 3 wide further back. Johnny Morrison on the inside in the 83. Ryan Dyson up on the high side in the 28. Anthony DeBello was in the middle, and Dyson gets the short end of that stick.
Ryan Dyson, not a big fan here of Sunset Speedway. I know that. He has struggled to find a handle on it, and it continues again tonight as he backslides through this field.
There is a lot of bumper tag being played out there. Colton Everingham just got really loose in turn 4. I believe he had some help, possibly from Trevor Culver, and they're 3 wide again. Paul Pepper to the inside of Miles Tyson, who's on the inside of Ryan Dyson, and then they're 3 wide through the middle of 4.
I think Ryan Dyson is just get me out of here. Struggling in that 28 machine. He's slidden from the top 10 starting spots all the way back to a 3rd last, so 19th right now on the grid.
Things are not going his way, that's for sure. Out in front, Garrett Teemersma still more than half a straightaway ahead of Brandon McFerrin. McFerrin about to have company with 36 Elaine Zardo, the 89C of Sean Chenoweth.
You see the 93 of Nagy has got by Culver. We had Wilkie side by side just a couple laps ago. Now the 93 going to work on Colton Everingham. Down in 3 and 4. Great shot by our drone operator, Abby. As you see the 93 of Nagy trying to get the power down. There's your leader, Garrett Teemersma, with 33 laps to go.
Unbelievable action all through this field. Deep in the field, they're still 2 wide. 3 wide at times as Carson Nagy all but pushing Colton Everingham off of turn number 4. He'll stick a nose to the inside into 1. Colton Everingham gives him that lane. Now he'll drop back in line. Trevor Culver was not able to take advantage. We got a battle for 2nd. Lane Zardo alongside Brandon McFerrin.
That's down into 1 and 2. Zardo, the Thrillbilly on the bottom. McFerrin up top. Chenoweth there as well. They'll race off turn 2 and down the backstretch. Zardo by half a car length now through 3 and 4 in that Bester Wood Product machine. McFerrin in the Stewart Equipment entry trying to hang tough on the top side.
How impressive is Johnny Morrison in the 83? He started 19th. He's up into the top 10.
Job by Morrison in that 83. Just got around Roy Wilkie.
If we do not get a yellow here in the next couple of laps, our race leader is going to be into some ugly lap traffic. They continue to race side by side just ahead of the number 17. Ryan Dyson will be the first car he gets to try to put a lap down.
23 of Connor Maltese also in that mix. Along with 21 of Marley Owen. There's your leader in the split screen. Looking around some lap traffic.
Whoa, trouble into. Cole Burrows goes around just ahead of the race leader, and that was a break. Not only for Ryan Dyson and Connor Maltese and the cars at the tail end of the field, but that was also a break for Garrett Teemersma because he didn't have to deal with that slower traffic.
That was some heavy traffic he was starting to get his way into.
22 laps are complete.
Had the chance to meet Cole Burrows here tonight. He's a Sunset regular, so I haven't seen him race too much, but nice, polite young man and getting his feet wet here with his first APC start.
Cole, that Burrows family has been around for a long, long time at the short tracks around Ontario. I don't know the full family tree, but
there's a flow chart somewhere.
There's a lot of Burrows racing. Burrows have got some action on pit road. Miles Tyson in the 49 is in. And we can see crew members from various different crews coming over to try to lend a hand. They're going to get up under the hood. Jack is on the scene, so we'll have some looks here very shortly.
And the 93 Carson Nagy, they actually added a second car to the stable. So Chase Pinsino had been running Superstock and late models. Well, actually, we'll tell you that story in just a minute. We'll throw it down to Clint with an update from the pits first.
Well, guys, they're working on this Tyson car, a right front adjustment going in to this under the hood situation here. You can see them making some adjustments and putting a couple cranks into it. And that's the story here on the 49.
So Chase Pinsino had been running late models and super stocks all year at Delaware Speedway. They canned the super stock program, and Hudson Nagy picked himself up a nice ride. He ran a couple weeks ago at Delaware, and will be back at it if they can get the car to Delaware next Friday night. I guess Jim's got to buy the stacker now, does he?
He's going to have to need something that'll fit. We need to remind the race fans, too, Seton Structures threw an extra $500 into the winner's purse for today's race. So, sweetening the pot. Many thanks to Seton Structures. So the choose cone, which we don't often get to see in this super stock division because we don't see a lot of yellows. There are places we go where the outside lane is just purgatory. Peterborough, Flamborough you can kind of make work, but still people don't like to be up there. I think at Sunset, this is probably the most even inside-outside. Maybe Delaware Speedway, because people are comfortable running the high side on a restart there.
Since the repave, yeah.
But we will see where these drivers elect to restart. Once timing and scoring is happy with the order of the field, and they're probably going to have to slow the pace truck down a little because they're stretched all the way around the track. And I'm glad our cone official wears a helmet, but that's still not going to compete against a full-size stock car.
No. Did we name the cone yet?
Well, there's a name. Mr. Cone is what's written on the cone. But I think it needs a name.
Maybe you can go to the G-Force Facebook page and put your suggestion in. So we'll see what happens. Tamirsma will take the bottom. The Thrillbilly will take the outside. And how about this? McFerrin going to the outside, Chenoweth to the bottom.
Pepper going to pick up a couple of rows in that 29 machine. Nobody took any real big swings out there. I'm a little surprised that Brandon McFerrin chose the outside.
I'm sure Chenoweth is as well. But then again, maybe he feels like that 36 is going to get the jump on the 17 here on the start.
You've got to take so many things into account. We're going to go green out of turn number 4. 22 laps in the books, 28 laps to go.
Tamirsma, your control car. Zardo on the outside, green in the air. We're off and running down into one. Oh, contact! Chenoweth just dumped the 17, and Zardo is involved. And I'm going to say that Sean Chenoweth just used up a credit that was on the dash.
You know what? Opportunity might have knocked there. Let's have a look. I'm sure we will have a replay coming, but I'm not sure we're going to need much of a replay.
Nope. Saw that one as clear as could be right off the get-go.
So a bunch of cars with some damage. Rick Verburn has the nose shortened up a bit on that 88 machine.
And he didn't wreck him, he just moved him.
Yeah, he took advantage of a situation, pushed him down into turn 1. That was, as we look there. You know, it affected Lane Zardo, unfortunately. He got the short end of that stick. Let's watch this replay down into turn 1. Really, the top 4 all got off to a great start. Brandon McFerrin does a nice job to avoid, but yeah, the 89C of Sean Chenoweth. The first 2 rows got a fantastic restart, and he just drove it deep down into turn 1. Clinton Jeffrey, how are things going down in Verburn's pit?
Boy, another guy who needs some luck this year is Rick Verburn in this Spark Power 88. They've had all kinds of problems, and the car hasn't run great for them. They got a big problem here, guys, because if you have one piece of the body hanging off, everything else can tape to it. But the whole nose is a little bit loose here, and they're going to need a lot of duct tape to get this one back together.
See brother Chris Verburn putting the duct tape on. Cousin Brian Verburn down there helping him out. Family outfit.
How many Verburn brothers is there?
So Brian is a cousin. I believe there's 4 brothers, if I'm not mistaken.
Steve, Rick, Chris.
Oh, God. Harvick fan. I'm trying to blank.
Oh, that's the worst.
Mike,
Oh, my goodness.
Mike.
Okay.
Yep.
I can see turn 2. The sun is finally going down enough. This turn 2 has just kind of been a rumor so far tonight because I see them exit turn 1 and then I see them come out in turn 3, but looking directly into the sun over there is challenging. Good exposure for Castrol Edge on the hood of that 88 machine of Verburn.
Well, now they got more problems. They just taped all the hood down and realized they got bigger issues. And look at here, Jack. They've got the shroud is blocked. The rad is blocked, guys. They're going to have to deal with that, or they're going to have overheating issues here. The shroud is supposed to be there, but right now it's blocking the rad. You can see the rad is actually loose. This is not going to be a quick fix for the Spark Power team.
No, that rod mount is broke.
And Big Darrell's right here. Tech going to jump in there and point out some things that he may or may not like that they want to fix before he can go back at it. And look at that rad is not even joined on at all. It's just hanging in there by the hoses.
That's never comfortable when you're hanging by the hoses.
I don't know how you tape the rad to the frame. That's just...
As long as it's got a cradle to sit in, it's not going anywhere. But
well, how frustrating was this, Adam, out on the NASCAR Pinty Series? We've seen DJ Kennington have multiple weeks with rad issues, and Rick Verburn is the crew chief who's trying to fix that. It's got to frustrate him to be sitting there and watching the crew at it. Now they pulled out a big chunk of the shroud. That ain't going to do any good if the rad is not in place.
Well, we know the rad's good because it's the Spectra Premium rad.
It's not leaking. Not a drop on the ground here.
Those Spectra Premium rods will hold water no matter what.
Is that how that goes?
That was the sponsor plug right there, Adam.
Yeah, no,
I slid it on in there.
Spectra Premium is a great partner.
Okay, so now they got bungee cords and duct tape. They're going to try and hold this rad in place.
I forgot to account for the bungee cords, Adam. I thought the duct tape itself just won't hold it.
They just handed out bubble gum to the whole team. Get chewing, boys.
So while they do that work, I'd like to see a replay again if we can, because I see Lane Zardo is restarting. He's lined up at the very front. I'm not sure if he'll get to stay that. They're calling out involved cars. 89C is a penalty car. They're putting Sean Chenoweth to the back. But it looks like the 36, Elaine Zardo, will stay out. Let's look at this replay. And this is challenging. We have the advantage of all these replays. Down into the turn, Chenoweth pushes them in. Zardo never came to a stop. All right, you know what? We were talking about this earlier. What do you consider an involved car? Where one of the officials says, look, if you stop, you're an involved car. So, well, you also got to reward drivers for avoiding the crash, right? So if you stop to not make things worse, then you've done a service to the field by not driving through a wreck. So good job, good officiating from what I can see to assess that situation and determine who stays at the front, who goes to the back. But what a fortunate opportunity for Carson Nagy. Let's take a break here on G-Force TV. When we come back, it'll be the final 28 laps of the Stewart's Equipment and Kubota 50 Super Stock feature.
Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Our savory potato sides can be prepared any way you like. Serve warm or chilled, as a main or as a side. Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Create your way to great taste.
You're so tasty. Drive me crazy. Ain't nothing I can do.
Rev up your engine engines and get ready for some high-octane action. GeForce TV is your one-stop destination for all the best racing action across Ontario. With free live coverage of the APC Series, Bushwick Speedway, Southern Ontario Sprints, and much more. You won't miss a single moment of the excitement. Whether you're a diehard fan or a casual viewer, GeForce TV has everything you need to stay up to date on the latest racing news and events. Head to our website at GeForceTV.net and start watching today.
The NASCAR Pinty Series returns to the Big O for not one, but 2 action-packed nights of NASCAR on the dirt. Oshwegan Speedway hosts the Freshstone Dirt Classic on Monday, August 14th, and the Pinty's 100 Tuesday, August 15th. Last year, the action was wild. Don't miss out. Get your tickets today. Go to npsondirt.com for tickets and camping info.
The APC Series on GeForce TV is brought to you by Pinty's, making great food fun. And by Quick Wick, the world's best fire starter.
Welcome back to Sunset Speedway, where we're watching the Quick Wick Super Stocks. Stewart's Equipment in Kubota, 50-lapper. Lane Zardo has just been put to the back as an involved car. He came down pit road for the crew to have a look, and when he came off pit road, he swerved in front of Chenoweth and didn't aggressively brake check him, but it was obvious that he was brake checking him. When you're going to get revenge, I think it's safe to say Sean Chenoweth had the opportunity to pay back the 17. He's been planning on it throughout the season. Didn't wreck him, just ruined his night or made his night difficult. Unfortunately, there was collateral damage, and that was Lane Zardo in the 36.
He came in tonight second in points, so he's got some work to do now to rebound and make the best of this evening with 22 laps left to go. 1 to go. McFerrin and Gord Shepard on the front row. How about this, Colton Everingham? We thought that car might have been a little slower, but he's been plugging away. He's up in the top 4 still.
And how impressive is Johnny Morrison? He started all the way at the back of this field. He started 19th out of 21 cars. He's up there in the top 5 for this restart. Let's do a Quick Wick Fire It Up and enjoy the sights and sounds of the Quick Wick Super Stock Series. Restart pulled down out of line, but the action at the front of the field, Brandon McFerrin with a pretty sizable lead. Side by side battling for second is Carson Nagy in the 93 and Gord Shepard in the 30.
That's how McFerrin got away. It was the 93 and the 30 got tangled up side by side. Great racing going on for that second spot. Carson Nagy on the inside of the HumpyViewParts.ca entering on the top side. Hits the 30 of Gord Shepard. How about Trevor Culver sitting 4th right now and Morrison up into the top 5.
Deep in the field, we're watching Garrett Temersman, the 17, the 36, Elaine Zardo, the 89C of Sean Chenoweth. They are nose to tail right now, trying to find a way to get through this pack. They're bottled up in traffic at the moment. Carson Nagy looking for the second spot.
Temersman just saw a chance to go 3 wide there and almost took it. It would have probably been disastrous, but it ended up checking up Zardo behind him. He's going to look again to the inside of the 63 of Cole Burrows down into 1. There goes Pepper around.
Paul Pepper goes around. Nice job by Marley Owen to narrowly miss. A couple of drivers squeezing up to the outside. You know, cautions breed cautions. It's a classic tale in short track racing. because we have gone races in these super stocks without a yellow flag, but tonight we've had a couple.
I don't think the Spectre Premium motor under the hood of the 88 is going to last now. Rick Verburn took a little more damage on the front end, and he's going to park that car now. Look at that is one beat up piece of machinery.
It is a little bit weathered. Do want the fans to know, if you hear a beeping sound tonight, that's the emergency power pack up here, and there's not too much we can do about it. Hopefully it's not too loud over the PA. It's Ryan Dyson down in the pits. They lift up the left side. Clinton Jeffrey is right there.
Yeah, a lot of scuffs on this left rear. Looks like they're going to do some work to it. They have pulled this one up, so not sure whether it's soft or what the situation is. No, they're actually going in deeper, guys. Looks like a battery issue here inside the left corner. So they're going to throw the jack stand under, which Adam loves, and go to work on the battery pack here in the 28 of the Dyson team. Just behind them, Anthony DeBello in. Crew in the right side window, checking up on his car. Looks like they're going to make a slight adjustment to the right front, but that's the situation here for Ryan Dyson.
Steve Book also on pit road. They've got the hood up on that Radar Auto Parts number 07. He's subbing tonight for Nick Ramsey. Connor Maltese is down in the pits. They're doing something under the rear end of that 23 machine. Running order with 27 laps complete. Brandon McFerrin is your leader in the 56. Carson Nagy runs second in the 93. Third, it's the 30 of Gord Shepard. Fourth, it's Johnny Morrison in the 83. And rounding out the top 5 is Trevor Culver in the 1. 6th through 10th, the bully Dwayne Baker in the 48. Colton Everingham in the 48X, the 33 of Roy Wilkie, the 16 of Anthony DeBello, but he is on pit road, so he'll be pulled out of that order. So next in line of cars on the track. In fact, why am I looking at my computer scoring when I can just look at the racetrack? Roy Wilkie, Matt McGrath, Cole Burrows, Garrett Tiemersma, Marley Owen, Lane Zardo in the 36, the 89C of Sean Chenoweth, the 29 of Paul Pepper, 49 of Miles Tyson, the 23 of Connor Maltese. Steve Book is heading back onto the racetrack, and then we've got one stop down in turn number 1. I believe that's the 65 of Matt McGrath.
It is Adam Crew going still work here on the Ryan Dyson 28. They're trying to swap up the terminals on this battery to get it to go into the car. They're trying to work on it here. It is not quite ready to be replaced, so losing a bit more time here on pit road.
Well, Matt McGrath's 65 machine has come to a rest on the outside of turn number 1, so they've got a little bit of extra time.
McGrath has just dropped the window net and taken the wheel off, Adam.
So, Clint, do they a spare battery with the wrong terminal connections on it?
Looks that way, Jamie. As you can see, Jack's got them going out of here. They got 2 batteries on the ground. They took the terminals off the bad battery, which is just a top post, and they have some type of quick connect twist on connector, it looks like, that they can, almost like a butterfly nut, that they can get these batteries in and out fairly quick. And they'll go to work on that one.
Well, it seems like whatever the mechanism is that allows them to get the batteries in and out quickly is not getting the batteries in and out quickly.
Well, they probably weren't anticipating this. They may have even had to borrow a battery, guys, so I'm sure if it was their own, they'd be ready for it. We'll get the full story as soon as we get finished here.
I was a Boy Scout. I'll always be prepared.
Help is on the way for Matt McGrath, but if he's got the steering wheel off of that car, getting a push isn't going to help him too much. In fact, if they start to push him, you'll probably see a hand waving out the window or some choice words being shared. Clint, is the steering wheel back on that 65 yet?
Yeah, just got it back on in time.
And this is obviously what Ryan Dyson ordered. What a break.
Yeah, just the time that he needed in that 28 machine. They continue to do the work, but he's still got 2 or 3 caution laps because it takes them time to get the choose cone out. They've still got at least 3 more caution laps to finish the work on that 28 machine.
Well, they got the new battery in, just trying to get the support bar in that locks the battery in. They've got the tire up, and they're ready to put it back on here. So a couple of quick connects. The battery is back in secure, and they will start putting this left rear back on.
They've just put the choose cone out on the front straightaway, the Sunset Pace truck all the way down against the inside wall to let these drivers have a good look. Brandon McFerrin going to choose the inside. Carson Nagy to the outside. Shepard down low. Morrison up high. So far, nobody is advancing any roads. Some of them have chosen outside instead of inside. Sean Chenoweth, the first driver, who's actually going to pick up some track position in the 89C because Marley Owen in the 21 and Lane Zardo in the 36 both chose inside.
And it puts the 89C 1 row behind the 17.
I think he's done, though.
Just saying.
There's still a lot of race left. We just passed the halfway mark of this race, so you got to believe.
I just saw Bone Stock driver Kyle Neumeister walk by in a tuxedo. Looking good, Kyle.
Fashion forward.
Tuxedo t-shirt.
That
Fancy
counts.
and formal.
That counts. So Garrett Teemersman, the 17 machine, starting back into the top 10.
Green flag set to fly. Going to be 23 laps to go for the Quick Wick Super Stocks, and McFerrin brings him down very slow. Nagy's going to hang tough up top.
That field was bunched up as Sean Chenoweth might have got punted up the racetrack in the 89C. That car shot to the right. Down in turn number 1, out in front. They're still door-to-door, side-by-side, racing for the lead. Who's it going to be at the stripe? It's Carson Nagy.
Nagy high. McFerrin on the bottom. They'll still run door handle to door handle down the backstretch. Going to be 21 laps left to go at the line. You've got McFerrin, winner last time out at Flamborough, and the Peterborough winner, Nagy, in the 93, breathing down his neck.
Wow, Nagy crosses over Brandon McFerrin on the exit at turn number 4. McFerrin had taken back the lead. Nagy crossed him up. Now it's McFerrin up high, Nagy down low.
Carson Nagy digging on the bottom of the HumbreviewParts.ca number 93. It's the Stewart Equipment 56 of McFerrin on the top side. They'll swing off turn 2. McFerrin by half a car length, now 3/4 of a car length, but Nagy will pile it in again on the bottom.
Side by side, they continue to race. They haven't really touched out there. They're 3 wide deeper in the field, but the attention has to be on the front as Nagy and McFerrin have dropped the gloves and they're duking it out for the top spot.
Great side-by-side battle. They're wheel to wheel, fender to fender.
Big one in turn 3.
Everingham some contact with Paul Pepper down there.
And Pepper was trying to get back to the bottom. Everingham was there, and I saw the roof of the Colton Everingham 48. I thought that car was going to flip down the backstretch.
Everingham is rolling in that 48. It looks like that car might be hurt.
Right front flat. So sparks coming off the back of that 48 machine, a freshly lettered 48. So Everingham will bring that car down pit lane. And where that accident happened, I doubt very much we've got a replay of that. You know, where it was on the track and where it was in the field of cars. It was deeper in the field, and there was lots of action at the front for us to cover. Here comes Everingham down into the pits. Clinton Jeffrey is on the scene.
Now you called it out on the flat right front. Seems to be only damage here on this 48 car as we walk around, a couple tire scuffs here and there. But other than that, it appears to be all right.
They'll lift up on the right side of that car to try to get the jack underneath.
You got all Wally Wilson and his 115 pounds trying to get that car up in the air. Lean on it, Wally. Nate Spink's going to work on the right front.
So they take off the bad right front. And I'd be curious to see what it's like under there if everything is still where it should be. Because he did launch up the side of the 29 of Paul Pepper. They're going to bolt on a fresh right front, though.
I don't know if you noticed when they had the car apart, there was a bar sticking out at the front of... You can see it just in behind the tire there. I don't know if that's a sway bar that's...
Oh, yeah.
I just point out to Daryl. He just nods. Uh-huh. Yeah, sway bar dropping on the right front here.
Right in there. You can see the sway bar.
Did they wear the bolt off of it, Clinton? So that bolt's on underneath. And when you see sparks flying from underneath the car when they have a flat right front, quite often they wear the end of that bolt off, and that's what ends their night, is there's nothing holding the sway bar in.
Yeah, that looks like happened. Out of the bolt is gone off the bottom of the sway bar here on the Everham 48, so his front end handling will be a little bit off.
They need to go get the duct tape and bungee cords and bubble gum from the 88 team.
So they're gonna, and just like that,
someone took the shoelace.
Nagy comes over with a bungee cord.
The challenge is if the sway bar rubs on the right front tire,
you can have a puncture.
You could have a punctured right front. If they can hold that sway bar up out of the way, it'll affect the handling of the car, but it'll at least be able to run to the finish, Clint.
Yeah, they're trying to get this one tied up. Jack, if you come on over here, might get a better look at what they're trying to do under the hood here. So there you see they've got the green bungee cord trying to get it tied around the roll bar and hooked on something. But you guys know that's like a big torsion spring in there, and it's going to put a lot of heat on that bungee cord. And by heat, I mean pressure.
And heat.
Daryl Timmerman's in there to check it out, make sure everything's good. Timmerman, sorry, and we're going at it. They get this one out, but sparks still fly out of the right front of the 48s.
Daryl's still only halfway through summer holidays, so whatever, get back out there.
Heck yeah. Now there's a little bit of a puddle, but that might have been from the earlier rain. And yeah, with that amount of sparking, Colton Everingham, I don't like the looks of that. You cut down a right front, it's not worth wrecking a race car.
Well, I'm speaking of spark. I got our spark power driver here, Rick Vern. Rick, as we get ready to go, you have not had any luck this summer. Tell us about your night.
Oh, it's just been one of those years, honestly, bud. I don't know what to tell you, Clint. Just we come to every race here. We're off a little bit on speed, which I think puts you in that position, you know, and then you get in that stuff. But we'll shrug it off and get ready for Delaware and come back and try again. We can't quit now. So.
And Rick Ververne's got a busy week. 2 dirt races coming up, and we're back under green, guys.
I'll tell you, those slow restarts are really working for Brandon McFerrin as the sparks fly out the back of Colton Everingham.
And you saw when that field was brought down, this is the second time in a row that McFerrin brought him down so far. Shepard looked to the inside and then had to check up. As you see Colton Everingham exit stage right. Obviously more damage to that car than they anticipated. Your leader still McFerrin down into 17 laps to go.
Everingham taking that car back to the cold pit, so his night is done. 17 laps to go here in this 50-lapper for Superstocks. Brandon McFerrin just shot up the track a little bit. That car looks like it's starting to get a little bit tight. Carson Nagy still has lots of speed as he piles the pressure onto Gord Shepard.
Shepard in the 30 holds down second there. You see Trevor Culver and Roy Wilkie going at it. That's for about 8th spot. Culver on the high side, Wilkie in the double threes on the bottom. They'll race off turn 4 now. Here comes Zardo looking to join that mix, trying to make up some lost ground in the points.
Carson Nagy gets to the inside of Gord Shepard down the back straightaway. Shepard tried to close the door, but Carson Nagy was there. They'll rub through 3 and 4 and race side by side down the front stretch.
That race for second on down into 1 and 2. It's Nagy on the bottom. Shepard, the wily veteran up top, will hold Nagy back for the time being, but that 93's on a charge. A little contact through 3 and 4 now. Nagy trying to get the 30 loose, trying to hold off the bully at the same time.
I think Shepard might have hesitated to get back to the throttle there just to make sure he didn't get knocked loose, because look at how much Brandon McFerrin gained that last lap or two. Now Nagy with a bump and run gets into the left rear corner of the Shepard number 30, draws alongside.
He just shot Shepard right out of the way down in turn 3 and 4. Hit him just hard enough to push him up into the outside groove, but Shepard hanging tough in that 30 for second spot, having a great run here tonight.
Right behind that battle for second, Johnny Morrison and Dwayne Baker get together, and they'll spin in turn number 4. Johnny Morrison, who had gone from 19th to be up there battling for 4th. They'll pull along side by side. You know, it's one-handed sign language is fairly limited.
I think he was telling him he was number 1. Possibly.
Let's have a look at that replay on GeForce TV, and we just see the aftermath of it. It was kind of a unique spin. They came into the corner fairly side by side. And then I think Baker was pinching down, and Johnny Morrison was asserting himself on the inside. They got together, and around they go. And then everyone else did a great job not piling in.
Dwayne Baker, one win in the APC Tour. He, in fact, won the inaugural event here at Sunset Speedway back in 2015.
If I'm not mistaken, he did so with a limited late model.
I believe that is correct. First and only win for him on tour.
Well, guys, Danny Benedict was watching from the infield, saw Johnny Morrison came in, ran down, hopped over the wall, and was the first one here in the pits for this 83 car. They just pulled out the right front fender, and everything looks all right.
Well, he's come from the back once. How far can he get this time? There's 12 laps to go. Brandon McFerrin in the 56. Gord Shepard now the second spot. And McFerrin has been going so slow to these restarts through 3 and 4. It is really causing problems for the rest of the field. But as the pole sitter, as long as he doesn't speed up or slow down, he can make slow restarts. And it's working for him because every time he's done it, he's picked up a couple of car lengths.
So again, Carson Nagy came into tonight with a 3-point lead in the standings over Lane Zardo. Carson Nagy did lead a lap earlier, so that makes it 4 points. Right now he's looking at coming out of here with a 7-point lead.
Let's have a look at that restart. We're going to watch a replay here and watch how slow. In fact, so slow, Gord Shepard kept pulling out a line, but McFerrin just crawls, bunches up the field behind him, and then once he launches, he's got 2 car lengths advantage by the time they even get to the start-finish line. That's what allowed Gord Shepard to take over that second spot from Carson Nagy. But I say good job to Brandon McFerrin. We're going to have the choose cone rule this time.
But can you do it again?
He's done it a couple of times pretty well. Let's see how it rolls this time. Wow. Gord Shepard goes to the inside. Nagy to the high side. Garrett Teamers, we're going to restart in that second row.
How about Tmiersma from the back of the pack all the way up to 4th? Zardo will restart 7th. Chenoweth in 9th.
So a lot of drivers that have been through some stuff here in this race. In fact, there's only the top 3, I believe, that have got through today mostly unscathed so far. 12 laps remain here at Sunset Speedway on what's become a beautiful night for racing. We had a pretty hard shower earlier on. It slowed things up at the start. In fact, washed out qualifying for the Superstocks. They lined up by the rule book with the invert of the top 10, but boy, it's made for some great racing, and here we go again. McFerrin working through 3 and 4, heading for the restart.
And again, Shepard forced to dive down to the bottom.
I'm not sure why he's doing that. Because he had a good jump, but he knew he had to lift to get back in line.
So Nagy trying to hang tough on the top side. He was able to 2 restarts ago, but not this time as McFerrin clears him. Now he gets McFerrin jacked up while getting jacked up himself. And how about Tmiersma on the high side now?
Carson Nagy almost cost himself that race because Gord Shepard was there on the inside. They made contact. Oh, McFerrin gets loose down into 1. That'll allow Nagy a good run down the backstretch. 10 laps to go.
Both Carson Nagy and Brandon McFerrin both looking to be the first 2-time winner on the Quick Wicks Series this year. It's going to be Nagy at the line, your leader. McFerrin still hanging tough on the high side.
Side by side with Gord Shepard alone in 3rd. Then they're side by side for 4th. Lane Zardo and Garrett Teamersma. Don't count out Trevor Culver or Sean Chenoweth either.
Chenoweth doing a great job getting from the back to the front, following Tmiersma and Zardo. And we'll see if this is over between the 89 and the 17 because he's right on his bumper. Meanwhile, Nagy out front.
Oh, McFerrin crosses him over. Can he keep the nose there down into 1? Beautiful move by McFerrin. The same move that Carson Nagy pulled on him a little earlier.
Going to be 6 to go at the line this time. By what a great race for the lead down into, McFerrin into the side of Nagy in the middle of 3 and 4. Nagy by a quarter of a car length at the line. This one is far from over.
That was an 8-tire stick better than 4 move by Brandon McFerrin as he drove it down.
That time
contact!
he drove it way in there too deep and just flat out drove into the side of Carson Nagy.
Could not keep that 56 underneath him as he drove it deep.
I could live with the first one. I couldn't live with the second one.
Carson Nagy takes off from the scene. It looks like a flat left front and some nose damage on the 93. And that, up to that point, Jamie, that had been phenomenal racing. I'm good with how physical it was. Everyone was participating. He just overstepped there that time down into turn 3.
The green means send it. The yellow means somebody sent it too hard. And that's what happened there. Heavy damage to the right rear of the 56 of McFerrin.
Let's look at the replay down the back straightaway. There's a little bit of gap between them. They make contact on entry. Once you make contact side to side, both cars are a little bit out of control. So I don't know if we can pin that all on the 56, but I think most of it on the 56, but it takes 2 to tango. Clinton Jeffrey, how bad is it?
Well, the 56 got the window net down and going to the cold pit in the back. This Nagy car is a mess, guys. The door all punched in. The left front flat, the nose tore up. They're going to have to do some work here to get this fender back in its normal position here. And we'll keep our eye on the battle as they try and fix this one up.
And half an hour ago, it was season over for Zardo. But this changes everything.
This changes everything. Sean Chenoweth, so let's play devil's advocate here. Let's say Sean Chenoweth doesn't want Garrett Tiemersma to win. He's going to steal a victory from him, so he had that restart earlier. I'm not saying he did. I think he did. But he ruins Tiemersma's night. But now they're back at the front.
He hasn't ruined it yet.
Now they're back at the front.
He's just put him behind the 8 ball.
Does he have to do it again? Like, was once enough and is it over?
You know what? The quote's the quote. I'm going to wreck him.
No, I don't. Yeah, but that was
heat of the moment.
That was heat of the moment, you know. And he actually said to me off the record, "Look, I'm not going to wreck a race car. We've got too much money and time invested." As we look at the replay again of what happened in turn 3, he says, "But I'm going to make his life miserable anytime I'm near him." So that's why I think in that one restart, my opinion is, he drove it in deep, and we're not inside these cars, but I think he knew what he was doing, and that's what he did. He made his life miserable.
Well, Nagy got the nose taped up, and he's going to head away with the new left front shoe. A little bit of body flapping behind the left rear as well, but we'll see what happens. He's going all the way to the back. What a turn of events, though, for the 17, the 36, and the 89.
Well, Gord Shepard chose inside. Lane Zardo chose inside. Garrett Tiemersma, that way freight 17, chose the outside, so he'll line up on the outside of row number 1.
This is going to be good. 7 laps left. Will Garrett Tiemersma get to victory lane? Will Gord Shepard get to the victory lane for the first time this year?
If I were a gambling man...
The front 3, none of them have won this year.
Wow. If I was a gambling man, I'd say this is going to be a faster restart than it was with McFerrin up at the front. But that's as far out on that limb as I'm going to go, Jamie. We got a race to run here. 7 laps remain here at Sunset Speedway. I was wrong.
Shepard could be bringing him down slower than McFerrin did. And now you've got Tiemersma leading at the line by half a car length.
Yeah, and now he's giving it back, but I don't know if they run the rule like that in this series. Gord Shepard back around on the inside. He'll lead them off at turn number 4. Who is it going to be at the stripe? It's going to be Shepard by a nose.
Shepard down into 1. He'll bury it on the bottom. Tiemersma up on the top lane. Zardo trying to figure out who to follow. You see Nagy trying to make some moves at the bow. Pepper's going to go around.
Oh,
no,
nice
they
save.
get straightened. And it's good for Nagy. He gets 2 spots at once.
Carson Nagy made a nice move there to get back to the bottom. Out in front, Gord Shepard leads the way. It'll be 4 laps to go this time. Teamersma working the outside lane. Zardo right up underneath the left rear quarter panel of the 17.
Teamersma nowhere to get into the line. Zardo's got him pinned outside. Chenoweth sits 4th. Battle for 5th. How about this? Cole Burrows fighting back and racing side by side with Culver for 5th. Door slams Culver up the track in turn 4. As now you see Zardo the inside of Teamersma.
Lane Zardo up to the 2nd spot. It'll be 2 laps to go this time. Sean Chenoweth backs out of it behind Garrett Teamersma. The top 4 nose to tail. Cole Burrows runs 5th.
I'm going to bet Sean Chenoweth's going to get by the 17 here at some point.
Big run. Lane Zardo with a big run through turns 1 and 2. Right up on the back bumper of Shepard. We got trouble in turn 2.
48 Dwayne Baker around.
He was in a battle with the 83 of Johnny Morrison.
Again,
where the two had just been involved in an earlier caution, but the racing deeper in the field was insane.
I don't know how Paul Pepper didn't crash. He was sideways coming out of turn 4 on the outside of a 3 wide.
Let's have a look at this replay from our speed shot. It'll be right at the right side of the screen. I believe that was Johnny Morrison was the first car to come through after Dwayne Baker spun.
Can we get another look at that one, Spencer? Yeah, Morrison was the first one that came through, but we didn't see what happened just before that.
Sometimes
I've got my speculations, though.
Sometimes that's for the best. What an entertaining race, though, folks. Yeah, there's been some yellows. This is not normal for the super stock division, but man, the action has been exciting and entertaining.
And now you've got the point leader, the 93. He's already rallied up inside the top 10. Sitting 9th right now.
Yeah, some great moves for Carson Nagy. Made some 3 wide passes. Had to get aggressive out there and make some difficult choices. Super impressed by Cole Burrows in that 63 machine. He did not look to be as fast in the early stages of this race as he is right now. He's running up there in the top 5.
I don't know how big of a Cole Burrows fans Trevor Culver is right now. Burrows kind of used him up off turn 4.
Yeah, Culver pulled up alongside him at the start of this yellow flag, I think, to let him know that he wasn't thrilled with that.
But Burrows, making a pretty good account of himself in his first quick race.
Let's see where they choose to restart. Gord Shepard looks to be going to the inside. That's where he'll start. Lane Zardo up high. Teamersma to the inside. Chenoweth up high. Burrows to the inside. Almost hit the cone.
So Nagy, the first one to break suit and go to the outside.
Who is going to get the extra $500 from Seton Structures? Winning a race, the trophy, the trip to victory lane, that's enough. But an extra $500 in your pocket, that's a lot of jingle.
It's a couple tires.
2 laps to go, 48 laps complete. Gord Shepard, that was a slow restart last time. Let's see if he does it again. Lane Zardo in the 36 alongside.
Shepard, Zardo, Teamersma, and Chenoweth. Shepard brings him down slow, gets a good jump. Got about a quarter of a car length on Zardo, down into 1 on the brake.
Great reflexes for Zardo, though. He got a good start as well. Johnny Morrison up the track in the 83. He's got a problem. Is that going to allow us to stay under green? I believe it will. Side by side off of turn 4. The white flag is in the air. Zardo with the lead.
Zardo by half a car length down into 1 now. Shepard will pile it in. Maybe some contact off turn 2. It's Zardo on the top side. Is he going to clear Shepard? Not quite. Shepard drives it in deep. Zardo swings it up high, and Lane Zardo is going to win his first feature of the year.
Gord Shepard comes home second. Sean Chenoweth in third, who is not showing up on the timing and scoring. I would imagine Chenoweth is pulling alongside, probably to give some congratulations, because I'm sure he knew he did. Well, we'll be able to ask him in victory lane, because Sean Chenoweth coming home with a third place finish. Garrett Teamersma giving a wave. I'll tell you what, it's got to be frustrating for the driver of the 17, but he made it to the end of one of these races, and that's the first time he's done that, I think, all season long. So he's got to be thrilled with that performance. And fans, what did you think of that show? That was some hard-nosed stock car racing. We'll head down to VP Fuels victory lane. Well, that's what it is for the APC cars. We'll give them that moniker for the super stocks as well. Clinton Jeffrey will be down on the scene.
Unofficially, Clinton, I've got Lane Zardo with a 4-point lead now over Carson Nagy in the championship.
Well, guys, look at Lane is out of the car saluting the fans at the beer gardens.
He wants a beer.
Can't blame him.
Maybe he wanted the $500 from Seton Structures. He wanted that on the spot. Man, he could not have felt he was going to win that race after getting mixed up in that caution earlier on. But here he is, headed down to victory lane. Lane Zardo in that Bester Forest Products number 36. Clinton Jeffrey getting in position. This team will be celebrating tonight.
Well, he's got the helmet off, the crew in here. We're going to get him out quickly for you fans so you can see your Quick Wick Superstock feature winner tonight, Lane Zardo. It's been an up and down night, all kinds of craziness going on. We'll get his Hans device off and get him out in just a moment. Lane will also draw our 50-50 as well. And yeah, he did pick up a beer, Adam. So thanks to whoever bought him that, the beer gardens. Here he comes, Sunset. How about a big Sunset Speedway welcome for the winner tonight, Lane Zardo.
That's our man. Come on down around.
We'll get him around this side and get a quick word with him. Well, first off, we got some business here. A trophy and $500 from Seton Structures going to be handed right over to him. Alex Nagy's got it in the hand. Make sure it was all 5. Congrats, Lane Zardo, from everybody at Seton Structures. Lane, what a wild night. You know, you were up there in the top 5, got in the jingle early with the Chenoweth and Teamersma situation. You were able to battle back and grab the win. Tell us about your evening.
Yeah, we had a pretty fast car at the beginning of the race, and just got a little bit loose on me on like lap 5, and crew chiefs in my ear, you know, just keep her cool, keep her calm, keep her consistent. Then we got up to the outside pole, and coming off corner 4, I'm like, Chenoweth is pretty, like he knows what he's doing on the racetrack. He's not gonna get somebody back in front of 21 cars on a restart, excuse my language. But we got hit in the wall, got sent to the back, which I didn't really agree with. I got all amped up, but my spotter Jordan Buster did a great job of just keeping me calm. Brad did a great job keeping me calm. They brought me a bad fast hot rod. Gotta thank Seton Structures for this extra $500. Thank you very much, Dave Seton. Gotta thank my sponsors, Bester Forest Products, Blue Water Sanitation, Gord's Basement Waterproofing, Shelby Roofing, Leslie Ford, and Surefire Framing.
He got it all in. How about it for Lane Zardo, ladies and gentlemen? He picks up the win here tonight.
Gord Shepard always was right in the middle of all the excitement, coming home with the 2nd place finish.
Come on, Gord. Well, Gord, we got you here. You know, solid run. I mean, obviously when Lane Zardo and Chenoweth get around you, it's tough sledding. But, man, at the end of the day, you were up there all night. You got a good finish. Can you be happy with 2nd, Gord?
Yeah, we'll have to take it. I think we had a great car. I think just in the end we just got outmotored there. And I can't thank enough to the crew. We've been thrashing away, trying to make this thing better every APC quick race. So I got to thank the crew and Richard's Auto Service, Selmer's Flighting, Pringle Electrical. I got to thank Biff for letting us drive the car. He's at home watching. 400 transmission and auto trim.
Right on. Gord Shepard, your second place runner here tonight, guys. He will get a good finish there, and we'll get in here with Sean Chenoweth just a second.
I'm curious. He just went over to have a quick conversation with Lane Zardo in Victory Lane. Didn't see what it was about. He got pulled back to his car for your interview, Clinton. So you broke up that conversation.
We could talk a lot about your night, Sean. First off, what were you saying to Lane? And then tell us what happened in the early portion of this event.
I just got into 1 too deep, and I got into the 17. I mean, nobody here's blind. I got into them. I really hate that it got them guys messed up. I'm actually really happy that everyone drove back to the front, and we didn't really tear anything up. I just congratulate Lane. Like, if it was me and Lane coming down for the win there and I was second, I would hit the brakes and let him win because I owed him one there. I definitely almost messed up his race, and we'll move on to the next one.
Right on, Sean. How's your late model?
I think it's pretty good for the long haul. We practice on really old tires. We weren't that fast, but in time trials we seem pretty comfortable, so hopefully we can work through that field.
Right on, there you have it, your top three. Sean Chenoweth, Gord Shepard, your winner. Lane Zardo gets it done. We'll be right back live here on G-Force TV. Get out your 50-50 tickets, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get late.
The NASCAR Pinty Series returns to the Big O for not 1, but 2 action-packed nights of NASCAR on the dirt. Hotch Weekend Speedway hosts the Freshstone Dirt Classic on Monday, August 14th, and the Pinty's 100 Tuesday, August 15th. Last year, the action was wild. Don't miss out. Get your tickets today. Go to npsondirt.com for tickets and camping info.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick perfected fire. Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick retailer at quickquick.com.
Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Our savory pasticides can be prepared any way you like. Serve warm or chilled, as a main or as a side. Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Create your way to great taste.
When your dream car becomes a nightmare, leaving you frustrated, stranded, and broke, you say,
Goodbye, you piece of Let's take it to TKC.
What? You gotta pee?
TKC!
Let's take this piece of to TKC Metal Recycling. They pay cash for scrap cars.
TKC will recycle your piece of car. Got a piece of car? Visit TKC Metal Recycling, 20 Cushman Road, St. Catharines.
Rev up your engines and get ready for some high-octane action. G-Force TV is your one-stop destination for all the best racing action across Ontario. With free live coverage of the APC Series, Bushwick and Speedway, Southern Ontario Sprints, and much more. You won't miss a single moment of the excitement. Whether you're a die-hard fan or a casual viewer, G-Force TV has everything you need to stay up to date on the latest racing news and events. Head to our website at gforcetv.net and start watching today.
You're so tasty. Drive me crazy. Crazy. Ain't nothing I can do.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week.
Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
Welcome back to Sunset Speedway. I'm Adam Ross, and now Brendan Doherty going to call the shots here for the Bone Stocks, and this is going to be a fun one, Brendan.
20 laps will be the distance on the epic race for a scoreboard for the Sunset Speedway Bone Stocks. Lead them off be the number 90 machine. That is Greg Duncan. The back he works Hello Tire, Richmond Hill, Missy Creations. Number 90 machine, 46 out of Huntsville. Rookie of the Year contenders Ben McPherson. The Smart Tutoring and Test Preparation, Peter Smith Construction, Pine Hill Iron and Metal. McDonald Street Metal, Done Right Machinery, Labracadabra Labras, number 46 machine. 13 is the Weiss Miller Timmermart ride of NASCAR Nick Reese. Picked up a heat win earlier this afternoon. 53, that is Steve Oakes, the K-Link, Dathom Enterprises, Candace Physiotherapy, Acura Integra. 42 machine, the Barry Auto Care ride. That is Aiden Harper aboard that ride. 22 machine, the Juniors Haulage Auto Trim Design of Barry ride of Josh Berry. Not that Josh Berry from the Xfinity Series, soon to take over the 4-car, but our own Josh Berry here at Sunset. 68 machine. That is Jordan Owen, the Kraft Automotive Repair Services, Function Informed, Ferndale Trim and Door, Sign Edge, number 68 machine. 17 is Andre Lester, Aurelia Metal Fabrication ride. 54 machine is Cash Ireton, the Cutting Fabrication Dan Scrap ride. 0 machine is Phil Givens, the 2-speed Motorsports entry. 55 machine, the Northern Fletcher's Contracting ride. Current points leader is Brandon Steele. 26, it's Big Brian behind the wheel, Big Brian Boot behind the Big Brian Sons Towing. Century Masonry Construction Chevrolet Cobalt. Then we have the 2 of Calvin Reeser, the Barry Nissan Sentra. 18 is 5-second delay Jay Cutting, the Custom Steering Performance Signs Honda Civic. 60 machine is Alex Stewart for the Caldecott Millwright and the Hammer. 47 machine is Nathan Hawkins, the Inventory Express ride. 9 machine is Daniel Damaris aboard the Magic Steel number 9 machine. 29 machine, that is Justice Jones, one of the best names in racing behind the wheel of the 29 machine. 25X is Jake Bird. 14 machine is Andrew Schilling. 24 machine is Curtis Burnett. And they are coming to the green off of turn number 4. We are racing with the Sunset Speedway Bone Stocks. Duncan gets a big jump, but he'll be quickly swallowed up by the 13 of Nicholas Reese. Reese going to go to the inside. We are 3 and 4 wide. McPherson sideways. We got cars stacked up. Andre Aless sideways. And that will stop, I believe, the 54 of Ireton. And that will draw the caution very quickly. So no laps will be complete on the scoreboard, and we will be under caution. And we will stack the deck minus the involved cars. But that one started up front early. The front row kind of got the jump, and the field caught up to them quickly. And when they did, there was a bit of mayhem as everyone was looking for somewhere to go. And it looks like we got a piece of debris. I see, it looks like a muffler on the racetrack. So someone with a louder exhaust than they had, and Pace Truck almost ran that over. Looks like heavy right front damage on Andre Less, 17 machine. The Kawartha Metals Whittle Family Chiropractic ride. She'll get the belts undone. That will end her night early here with the left front folded in. Feature winner this year is Lusk, and unfortunately she'll need the assistance of the B&B towing hook to get back to the work area. Her night will be done here because I don't believe they'll have enough parts in the infield to get that one fixed up.
Man, your night ends in turn number 1. That's a disappointment.
Yeah, and Lusk had been having a uncharacteristically bad season. She came off a season last year, 3 wins, had been running very well, and just hadn't found the setup on that 17 machine this year. Has started to hit her notes and hit her stride, found victory lane, but unfortunately the team's going to have to go back to the shop in Aurelia and do a bunch of work to the front suspension on that 17 machine. Looks like the 18 and Jay Cutting being stopped on the back straightaway. You see Cash Ireton on pit road, the Strong Foundations, Dan Scrap, Cutting Fabrication ride, Jim Cutting over the wall, working on the right front. Cutting, a former Challenger regular here back in the 90s at Sunset Speedway.
That was a fun division in its prime.
That it was. I mean, that's what I grew up on watching. You had the late models, but the Challengers were always the show. 40 Thunder cars, they were just a show no matter what. Felt like an enduro every night. But, Challenger is where a lot of those guys, like didn't have all the money to go late model, but Challenger was the perfect division for them, and tracks were full of them over the years. And, Cutting was one of those ones. The blue and white, the pink 18 was one you knew here at Sunset growing up.
And in the heyday, there'd be Challenger A divisions and Challenger B divisions.
Oh, wow.
Like just so many of them.
Yeah.
I know Flamborough had that, and then when you went out on the tour, I mean, there was just a lot of cars. And things evolve over the years, but similar to what the super stocks were now, but I don't think comparatively they were expensive as what a super stock is these days.
No, and I mean, there was a short period of time in around when the super stock rules changed and evolved from Thundercar to super stock, that you could bring back some of those challenges that had been mothballed. They were still stock clip. I think they made some adjustments on the rules to allow the sway bars in. I think they ran the slapper sway bars on the challengers. They weren't allowed at the time in super stock, and some of those cars worked their way back into into competition, and didn't work out in the long run because now they're all custom built brand new cars, Camaro clip leaf springs, blah blah blah. But some guys with older Chevelle clip cars were trying to come back, and there was a short while that worked out.
No, for sure, and that's just sort of how it goes. You had street stocks challengers. They weren't late models then, they were sportsmen, right? Because there were super late models and then sportsmen.
Yeah, so it was 1990. So it was up until 1990 here. They had the super late models, which were prominently through the 80s, our title late model division here at Sunset. And then in 1990 they introduced the late model sportsman, which up until last year was in existence still as limited late models.
Well, and I mean that's where Tom Walters, I believe, won most of his races was as a sportsman, and that's what the All-Star late model series was built on.
Yeah, I mean, 1990, the track sat down and they got on a common rules package, and late model sportsman was born, and super late models became a touring series. Oscar was founded in 1990, and super late models went on the road then, and track started to build up a late model sportsman division.
I'm excited to see where bone stocks will go, because similar to the way it's always been, there's a class that's very entry level that blossoms to where there's, I mean, I don't think it's an exaggeration to say there's hundreds of them.
Yeah.
Between all the speedways, all the pavement tracks, and even the dirt tracks, because there's not much difference aside from either a windshield or a mesh on the front between dirt and asphalt. That's the fun part about these cars. They're interchangeable.
Yeah, and I mean, the limited suspension adjustments you can make on these, I mean, you don't need a whole pile of camber to go dirt racing. So a bone stock's almost perfect to go on to dirt, which I think somebody had done. I want to say Matt Young ran Oshweekend. I think I seen his post on Facebook. He was saying what he had run as they mini stocks on dirt. I can't remember. Same
difference. Long time ago, when Dave Bailey was still running mini stocks, he's a Thunderstock superstar now. His goal was to win the championship with the same car in the same year at Oshweekend and Flamborough, and I believe he did it. But this would be going back probably 20 years.
Yeah, with that Ford Mustang. I remember bringing that here to Sunset a few times, the Autumn Colors Classic. Abominable Dave Bailey, as he was called. Because he was, he ended up being good on he's great on the dirt now. But he was pretty good on the dirt with that Mustang. But he was, the king of Flamborough with that Mustang for a long time.
Yep. And it's fun to see when you can have icons at your track that are in the entry-level division. That's just really cool. And I know you've got some here. You've got big names in all the divisions, but that's what makes it cool.
Hey, and I mean, we started a new thing just this week. We've sold out at our booth, but a lot of these bone stock racers now have their own trading card.
I saw that. So, very cool.
Yeah. So we sold out the first week, which is impressive. So surprised us at how well they did. So we've gone back to the drawing board and got another batch coming for next week. So.
Now, do you have any that Post Malone will pay $2.5 million to buy?
Oh, I mean, we went to the Legend set. There was, I think it was 62 of the Sunset regulars, and we dug into my photo collection to come up with 10 Legends. So, I mean, I don't want to let it slip, but, there might be a Junior Hanley trading card out there. Maybe he'll find it worth $2.5 million.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know.
To the right collector.
Yeah. All right, lights extinguished on the McMaster Buick GMC Pace Truck. It'll make the hard left to pit road. We'll try this one again. 0 laps complete on the Epic Race Risk scoreboard. 20 laps still remain. Duncan on the inside, McPherson the outside. Coming back to green on the loud pedal off of turn number 4. Very quickly, we 3 wide down the front straightaway. Steve Oakes to the outside. Nicholas Reese working the bottom side of the racetrack. McPherson holding a pretty wheel in the middle as everyone works high and low. Duncan slows up a little off at 2. That's going to Reese work to his inside. Jordan Owen has to check up for Aiden Harper. A little bit of a stack up on the back straightaway. Everyone able to stay off each other, though. That's good to see. McPherson, the rookie, getting a lesson here. Working his way, sitting in the middle of the field and staying off of everybody. So he's doing a great job. Everybody working high and low is that young man. learns a lot here in his rookie year. Givens on the move now up to the 4th spot. As everyone chasing Nicholas Reese at the front of the field. Oaks now working to the inside of the 90 is Steve Duncan. Givens looking to follow him through. Givens actually looking to split the difference and try to make it 3 wide down the back straightaway. That he will do. Givens going to go 2 for 1 into turn number 3 and shoot to the 2nd spot in the running order. Here comes the 26 machine up on the high side. I believe that is big Brian Booth behind the wheel still, as they race into turns 1 and 2. So Booth up on the high side of the racetrack getting more comfortable here behind the wheel. His son Jacob's Bonestock. Reese though out in front though in the 13 machine with a healthy lead over Givens so far. Oaks runs in the 3rd spot. Greg Duncan, another rookie of the year this year, runs steadily in the 4th spot, but he's got Booth coming in that 26 machine. Brandon Steele on the move in the 55. The Northern Flexes Contracting rides your current points leader just outside the top 5. He gets clear of Josh Berry for the 6th spot. Now he'll set his sights to follow Booth through to the bottom side of Duncan in that number 90 machine. Duncan up on the high side of the racetrack with Booth down low. The Century Mason Construction 26 machine now up to the 4th spot. Brandon Steele down low, looking to the inside of Booth as they race into turn number 1. Your current points leader trying to work his way to the front. Reese now out in front though. He's got company. The Weiss Miller Timbermart 13 machine has got Phil Givens there. The 0 machine looking to the inside of the 13 as they race down to turn number 1. Reese trying to get defensive, using that lap cars to pick to keep Givens behind him as they race through 1 and 2. Curtis Burnett down around the bottom side of the racetrack. He'll move right down out of the way as the rest of the lead pack cars catch up to him. Givens still looking to the inside in the 0 machine as Reese works the high side of the racetrack. Reese getting way up high that time to 3 and 4, right against the wall when they came down the front straightaway. Givens nice and smooth down around the bottom side of the racetrack. Looks like Reese going to try to, thought he was going to slide in line there. Kind of let off down the back straightaway. Thought he was going to try to follow Givens through and learn something there. The Weiss Miller Timbermart 13 machine maybe looking to the inside of Givens. Thought they were going to have contact that time as Reese drove it deep down into turn number 1, but Givens able to get clear now with a little bit of breathing room over the 13 machine. Brandon Steele up to the 3rd spot, trying to run down the front pair as we close in on the halfway point. Cross sights in the air this time by. 10 laps in, 10 laps to go with the Sunset Speedway Bone Stocks. Givens looking for another Sunset Speedway win in the 2-Speed Motorsports, the Eatonville Garage number 0 machine. His own car that he brings out once in a while, brings it up to Sunset. And looking nice and smooth so far after some issues in the heat race. Heading up facing the wrong way in heat race number 1 tonight. And now leading the field here in feature race action past the halfway point. Brandon Steele looking to close in on his teammate Nicholas Reese in the 13 machine. Your current points leader continuing to be consistent, running in the top 5 and build that points lead. Jordan Owen on the move, looking to the inside of Steve Oakes. That is a battle for the 5th spot in the running order. Owen, a feature winner here last year at Sunset Speedway. Nathan Hawkins with a bit of a jump up off the bottom. We got caution out. We got one up against the wall. I believe that is Cash Ireton. The Dan Scrap Cutting Fabrication, Strong Foundations, Honda Prelude up against the outside wall, down into turn number 1.
I'm curious, and I don't have the answer. Maybe somebody watching online or someone can message me. I'm curious how many racetracks Phil Givens has won at this year, or even how many racetracks he's been on the top 3 at, because I'll bet you it's 3 or 4 of them. I know he's gone down to Delaware a bit. I believe he's won at Flamborough, but possibly Sauble, Full Throttle.
Yeah, I think he went up for that invitational before the monster trucks up at Sauble.
And that's the cool thing about this class, right? You don't have to invest a ton of money, but you can drive around, go to different racetracks. Clinton Jeffrey is heading down towards the scene there in turn number 1.
Yeah, the driver's trying to get this 54 car going, but there's something broken in the front end in the drive line or the steering. Every time they try and pull away, the wheel is wobbling, and I think something's broken, almost like an upper lower control arm, guys.
They've got like the upper angle on the right front, and I can't tell if he's gone to the wall. Looks like there is some scuff marks on that right front tire, and that is the tire they changed on pit road when they were down there after that first caution. So maybe something they had bent, just finally gave up the ghost after that lap 1 contact.
Cash, what's going on with your car?
Oh, I have no clue. It was going pretty hard, running pretty good, and went into the wall.
It looks like when you try and drive, it won't steer or drive. What's the situation with the car?
I thought that I had a pop tire, but I don't know what's going on with the car right now, so we're going to have to do some work over the week to get it back out for next weekend.
All right, there you have it. Cash Arch and drives the number 4, 54 car, guys. And yeah, something wrong with the steering or the drive line on this car.
I believe I've already got an answer from Don York, everywhere but Sauble and Peterborough. Well, Don, that doesn't narrow it down because I don't know everywhere he's raced. But I do think probably Full Throttle, Flamborough. But I appreciate the message, Don.
B&B Towing going to work, getting that Honda Prelude hooked up.
Problem is, there's not a lot of solid stuff here for them to grab a hold of. A lot of plastic.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, there's not supposed to be any front bars in a bone stock, right? If you want a front hoop, you build a mini stock, but it's supposed to be kind of stock from the firewall forward on these cars without any reinforcement. So the days of the safety chain are kind of few and far between.
They got a plan. They're good here.
So Cam tells us Phil has raced at Full Throttle, Peterborough, Flamborough, Sunset, Delaware, and Sauble.
That's a busy summer.
And been competitive everywhere he's been.
Guys, look at, here's the problem. Well, I don't know if you can see it right now, but this broken control arm here, and the wheel is out of whack as it goes. And when it lifted it up, you could just see it go. But yeah, right in here, we've got it broken. It's all bent up in there. And that's the situation for Cash Ireton, guys.
So B&B Towing going to give him the heave-ho back to the outside work area, and that will bring Cash Ireton's night to an end early here. I believe we are just past the halfway point. We've lost the Epic Racer scoreboard at the moment, so I can't really tell you exactly how many laps are left, but once we go back green, we'll come back up properly. But I'm sure it's the last thing Phil Gibbons wanted to see, is that'll bring Brandon Steele, who is a little bit back in the third position, pretty much up to his bumper on the restart here. We should be doing the 1-2-3 double up restart with the bone stocks. Something we do with the bone stocks and mini stocks here at Sunset, going a little bit old school. I think Adam will remember those days.
It's a blast from the past. Starting fourth was a nightmare. Like, it was such a penalty to start fourth, but starting fifth, it was nothing but daylight.
That's always where you wanted to be. Just that first car on the outside, time it right. I remember back when we ran, what was for fun now, bone stocks. The restart line at Sunset was going into turn 3. And the moment the leader hit that, the track was green. So it didn't matter where you were. If you timed it right, you were great. I mean, I was, grew up watching Stomp with Tom Walters use that 1-2-3 double up restart to perfection time and time again.
Yeah, that was a fun rule. And just knowing those rules and being able to take advantage of them, that's what it was all about. 8 laps to go is what the scoreboard says now. Sounds about right.
Yeah, we were past halfway, so we'll accept it. And looks like we have doubled them up. 1-2-3 double up. I think Booth has decided he wants us to restart on the outside, and I think we're just going to not fight that and just let that happen. He is the car that is supposed to be first on the inside, but see where it goes. The lights extinguished on the McMaster Buick GMC Pace truck once again to make the hard left to pit road. 8 laps on the Epic Racer scoreboard to settle this one. See if Phil Gibbons can hold off the teammates of Nicholas Reese and Brandon Steele here on the restart. They come to the restart zone over in turn number 4, and they are back on the loud pedal. 3 wide down into turn number 1. Just outside the top 5. Everybody looking for room to work here on the restart. 47 Nathan Hawkins down the bottom side, trying to work his way towards the top 5. Booth to the outside of Oaks on the restart, going to get clear for the 4th spot. Gibbons doing a great job up in the 1st position. Brandon Steele now pressuring his teammate Nicholas Reese. Steele going to try to be careful. Might have been a little bit of contact there that time through 1 and 2. The teammates going at it. Steele, your current points leader, doesn't want to do anything silly to end up with a DNF here, but still wants to march forward and gain as many points as he can. Working through 3 and 4, looking to the inside of Reese down the front straight with the Wiesman, the Timber Mart number 13 machine. Holding strong so far up the racetrack goes Reese that time. Steele nice and smooth around the bottom. The Limitless Liners 55 machine will now take over the second spot, with Reese moving back to third. His best outing of the year so far here at the Sunset Speedway. Bone stocks. There'll be 5 to go with the line. That time by for Phil Givens. He's got a comfortable lead right now with Brandon Steele. See if Steele can close in on him. And one thing that might hinder Steele over Givens. Givens is an invitational car kind of coming in. He'll have no penalty weight as he hasn't won any features here at Sunset. But the 55 of Brandon Steele, a multi-time feature winner, has a lot of penalty weight on that 55 car. So that might be helping Givens right now as he comes in on a regular points night here at Sunset. Although Steele doing what he can to try to close the gap to the Zero machine, the Two-Speed Motorsports entry of Phil Givens. But he's starting to run out of laps. 3 to go on the Epic Racer scoreboard. That time by. Reese has fallen back from the 55 machine, but he's got a comfortable lead over the 68 as he tries to bring home his first podium finish of the year. Popsicle sticks in the air this time by for the Zero of Phil Givens. Hawkins now trying to crack the top 5 as he looks to the inside. Big Brian in the 26 machine. Brian Booth trying to hold on to the top 5 in his first bone stock start. Driving the championship car of his son Jacob Booth here at Sunset this weekend. White flag in the air for Phil Givens. Closest battle on the racetrack is for that 5th spot. Hawkins the inside of the 26, the Century Mason construction ride. Trying to hold on to the 5th spot in the running order. Down into turn number 3 off of 4, picking up the checkered flag. It'll be Phil Givens with the win. Brandon Steele for 2nd. Nick Leach going to come home 3rd. Jordan Owen in 4th. And it'll be Nathan Hawkins in the 47, rounding out the top 5. So a great showing for the Sunset Speedway bone stocks. Only a couple of cautions there. If you really count the first one, we didn't get a lap complete. So I don't know if you really count that as a caution, but one caution during the race.
No, a great show, and it usually is. That's a pretty typical bone stock race. Some entertainment. There's always battles somewhere in the field. Although Phil kind of had his way once he got to the front. He had a fast race car as he pulls down into victory lane. And Clinton, you'll have to be sure to ask him how many tracks he has won at this year.
Victory lane trivia is always the best. Although we'll see if we can, Phil might just park it right there instead of headed down to the new Sunset Speedway victory lane. We won't argue it for the time's sake. We'll just let him park there and getting everything undone. We'll hand things down to Clinton with Phil Givens in victory lane.
Thanks, Brendan. Phil Givens gets out. How about it, a big Sunset Speedway victory lane welcome for Phil Givens. Phil, the question is, how many speedways have you won at this year?
Delaware, Flamborough. Unfortunately, didn't get it done last week at Peterborough. Here now. And everywhere. And we're still going to travel.
Great job. Good field of cars here in this bone stock class. Continues to grow here across the province.
Yeah, it's been good. Sunset's been tough. Brandon Steele is unreal quick, and we've been battling the last couple weeks. I've been coming over here, and can't shout out to him. He's super fast, but got to thank my sponsors, Two-Speed Motorsports, Call the Cop Millwrights, NFL Garage, and hopefully my wife's doing good over at Flamborough.
Right on. There you have it, your feature winner for the Bone Stocks, Phil Givens, ladies and gentlemen. How about a big round of applause? We will be right back live here on G-Force TV for the APC Late Models. Big feature coming up.
Early man discovered fire, but Quick Quick perfected fire. Quick Quick is the only fire starter that guarantees to start your campfire, wood stove, or fireplace without the need for kindling or paper. Find your nearest Quick Quick retailer at quickquick.com.
You're so tasty. Drive me crazy. Ain't nothing I can do.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our weekly race chat.
Adam Ross and Clinton Jeffrey are live and interactive every Tuesday night. Rivals Race Chat is your home for race discussion, debate, news, interviews, and more. They'll even take your questions and comments live on the air and talk to some of the newsmakers each week. Tune in every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. on GeForce TV.
Rev up your engines and get ready for some high-octane action. GeForce TV is your one-stop destination for all the best racing action across Ontario. With free live coverage of the APC Series, Bushwick Speedway, Southern Ontario Sprints, and much more. You won't miss a single moment of the excitement. Whether you're a die-hard fan or a casual viewer, GeForce TV has everything you need to stay up to date on the latest racing news and events. Head to our website at GeForceTV.net and start watching today. Get ready to experience the NASCAR Pinty Series Power Hour. Join your host and wingman, Cam K, every Monday night at 7 p.m. on GeForce TV for an hour of non-stop excitement and in-depth analysis of the hottest racing series around. From the latest race highlights to expert analysis and insider commentary, you'll get an exclusive look at everything you need to know about the NASCAR Pinty Series. Tune in for the NASCAR Pinty Series Power Hour, the ultimate destination for race fans everywhere.
Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Our savory pasticides can be prepared any way you like. Serve warm or chilled, as a main or as a side. Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Create your way to great taste.
The APC Series on GeForce TV is brought to you by Mighty Wipes, the strongest wipe around. And by NTN, delivering the ultimate bearing experience.
Welcome back to Sunset Speedway, where it is just about time, folks. We're going to bring the APC late models out onto the racetrack. The drivers will be in the car, strapped in, ready to go. We'll give you the starting lineup, and then we're going to do the national anthem, and then we're going to fire things off. So it's not going to be a long, drawn-out affair. The drivers aren't going to be out of their cars. They're going to stay strapped in so we can keep things rolling. 100 laps is the distance, and this should be a good one.
Adam, I just sent you a message.
Yeah, I just changing things up here.
Cool, cool.
And I'll take a quick moment while the late models get lined up to let everybody know at Sunset Speedway we are back in action here next Saturday night with the Steve Slaughter Classic, which is also Fan Appreciation Night. 75 laps for the GD Coast Used Car, Superstar Late Model, St. Arch Recreation Super Stocks, Luda Designated Driver, NASCAR Hot Rods, Striak Energy Mini Stocks, Bone Stocks, and Quick Wick Can-Am Midgets all on the card next Saturday night here at Sunset. Oh.
As we have a look, August 26th, it'll be the Modifieds, Mini Stocks, Bone Stocks, Junior Late Sportsman. September 2nd, Modified, Super Stocks, Hot Rods, Bone Stocks, Junior Late Models, and a King of the Hill. And then September 3rd, Pro Late Models, Hot Rods, Mini Stocks, Bone Stocks, and Kids Bike Races. That's the Quick Wick upcoming events calendar for Sunset Speedway. And as we have a look at the calendar upcoming for GeForce TV, it is right shortly. Monday and Tuesday, August 14th and 15th, the Sitting Bull Tire Sprint Cars Shootout for Action Sprint Tour and 360 Sprint Cars, plus the heat races for the NASCAR Pinty Series. That'll be August 14th and 15th. And then on August 26th, it'll be the next round for the APC Series up at Sawbull Beach for the Stewart's Equipment 100. Cars making their way out here. Clint, I thought you were getting ready for a big moment. The light was up on the camera. You were standing there, and then it just fizzled. That's a pretty typical Saturday night, isn't it?
just being told from the trailer to check our camera. That's all.
There you go. That's all they do is tell us what to do and tell us where to go and how to get there. Somebody has to. Do you appreciate it? I was told to get you wound up tonight. I hope you appreciate that I'm doing my best so far to not.
No, we're having a great night. There's been so much action being a pit road guy. I owe you an apology because I jumped in on you. We were going to a restart, so I don't want to talk to you later after about it.
I don't get too worked up over that. I took my scolding Jamie, you weren't here. I got scolded last week, but normally at the end of a night, I get scolded for something.
By Spencer?
Nah, we fight, me and Adam.
Oh, okay.
Well, he walks into it every night. He says, did I make you mad tonight? And I have to tell him.
Yep. I like to know right away. I don't like to let things linger. But everyone else, Jamie, so you and I know that you and I have something in common. I don't know about Brendan, but I think he's with us. Whether you're Spencer,
old and overweight. That too. Okay.
Spencer, Daniel, Clinton, everyone. They are professionals. They went to broadcast school. I studied public relations. I'm just a blowhard with a microphone. So that they know what's right and wrong. I know from George Carlin. There's 7 words I shouldn't say. That's all the training I've got.
It's all you need, I think.
Right? You're not a broadcast.
I took broadcasting at school back when.
We don't have that, Brendan.
I never.
Yes.
I never finished.
My broadcast training was the Wendy's drive-through.
There you go.
I got told a lot at the box I had a voice for radio. Didn't quite work out that way, but here we are on a Saturday night at the very least.
And I just kept getting told I had a face for radio.
Exactly. Good-looking field of race cars rolling out here on the front straightaway. Sean Gibbs, the director of traffic control. Well, it's half of Sean Gibbs down on the front stretch. If you've known him for any length of time, I think he's down to about half of what he was. He's probably lost 100 pounds.
I found some of them.
Yeah. I had a great off season. Got real healthy. Did some exercising. Ate well.
And then Flamburgers started, right? What do you eat on a Saturday
They don't
night?
have a walking taco salad here at Sunset. It's a walking taco. It's like a taco salad, only without any of the healthy stuff. It's just got the good stuff in it.
I figured I did okay. I had Subway on the way here today, but I loaded it with everything I wasn't supposed to.
All the sauces they had?
All this, yep.
You had the option for the late mail, but you went for the real stuff.
No, just keep putting the ranch dressing on there. Lather it up, folks. But I felt healthy after I ate it, though, Adam. That was the biggie.
Well, that matters. Now, interesting to watch the 22 at Chase Pinsino coming out. He's okay. I was going to say, he's starting better than...
Air traffic control issue.
I see.
I think that hole on the front stretch. Hang on a sec.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know if he can get there or not.
Right there. That's where he's going to line up.
Now they got him on top of another car.
No, hang on a sec. Right there. No.
They're not helping you.
It's in circle
it's
mode.
like a
There you
moving
go.
target.
Jamie,
Right there.
Jamie just built a slinky on the telestrator.
Look at that. He drove right into my circle, Adam.
He knew where to park because of you.
Exactly. These guys listen. You messed me up. You put it on the circle setting. I wasn't able to just freehand.
Oh, there's one of it that looks like spray paint graffiti. It's fun.
Well, quick interview with Jake Sheridan. Jake, you came in tonight tied as the points. You're going to start scratch on the field. You got a great crew. Did Nick and the boys able to get this one fixed up for you? What do you know about this 52 car?
Well, not really a whole lot here. We qualified decent. We're a little slow, but we didn't have anything super special for tires on. But I had a motor problem. We've been fighting all day long, and we definitely found it there. It showed itself in qualifying, right? But the second worst time could have been in the race. So happy we figured it out when we did, but we definitely got ourselves a bit of a hole here to start the race off. I hope hopefully all our practicing here paid off pretty good. And we had a good car here both times in the spring. So 100 laps, we'll be able to get through these guys here and hopefully battle for our podium here at the end of the race and just try and protect that point steal.
Yeah, for Jake Sheridan going shotgun on the field. Guys, once we get the okay, we'll get rolling with our driver introductions.
It is time. Let's meet the starting lineup for the Stewart's Equipment and Kubota 100 here at Sunset Speedway. He'll roll off 18th from Mount Bridges, the Pride Seeds, Reynolds Trucking Service, Vibrant Farms, Cameron Crane, number 52, Jake Sheridan. Starting 17th from Oswego, the Oswego Speedway, Glenn Stiers Racing, number 0, Glenn Stiers.
From the outside of row 8 in the 3-car, APC Auto Centers, Can Use Automotive Warehousing, Miami Muscle, the sponsors for Shea Gemmel. And on the inside of row 8 from Pickering, Ontario, the Real Landscape Plus Langla's Metal Recycling, number 94, that's Corey Luciano.
Row 7 on the outside from Guelph, the Burn Workwear, PV Mart, Epic Racewear 72, it's Junior Farley. 13th from Fenton, Missouri, the APC Auto Parts Centers, Pennzoil Federated Auto Parts, number 52S, Kenny Schrader.
On the outside of row 6 in the 89C from Drumbo, London Recreational Racing's Route 19 Auto Parts and Two Speed Motorsports, the sponsors for Sean Chenoweth. And on the inside of Chenoweth in the HumberviewParts.ca entry from Aurelia, Ontario, it's the 41 Taylor Holdaway.
Now, race fans, your top 10. Starting in the 10th spot from Bell River, the FCF Custom Fab, Rosati Construction, Integrity Tool and Mold, number 22, Chase Pinsino. Starting 9th from Oro Medonti, the Two Speed Motorsports, Caldecott Millwright Services, 31W, Rick Spencer Walt.
On the outside of row 4, tied for the lead in points coming into tonight, Pennzoil, APC Auto Parts Center, the sponsors for Milverton's Kyle Stickley. And alongside him, fresh off a super late win at Delaware Speedway last night, the Cambridge Rigging Transaxle H2Go mobile wash machine from Cambridge, Ontario. It's the 84 two-time series champ, J.R. Fitzpatrick.
Starting 6th from Orno, the North Country Property Maintenance, B&W Enterprises, 54, Danny Benedict. And starting 5th from London, the Great Lakes Concrete Paragon Insulation Engine from Tom Gibbons, number 78, Joe Lawrence.
Outside of row 2, he drives the Ridgeline APC Farrier Contracting, number 17 from Chesley, Ontario. It's primetime Josh Stoddy. And alongside him in the Tom Gibbons Concrete Finishing Graham Family Car Quest, Faust Construction, number 10 from Southampton, Ontario, Tom Gibbons.
Front row on the outside from Cambridge, the Polar Blair Motorsports, Rymat Mini Stores, number 97, Blair Wickett. And your pole sitter from Dundas, the SDR Seating, AJ&J Furniture, Stage It With Style, number 74, Eric Della Riva. That is your starting lineup for the Stewart's Equipment and Kubota 100. Race fans, we're going to take a quick break on GeForce TV. When we come back, it'll be time for the most famous words in motorsport.
The NASCAR Pinty Series returns to the Big O for not one, but two action-packed nights of NASCAR on the dirt. Oswego Speedway hosts the Freshstone Dirt Classic on Monday, August 14th, and the Pinty's 100 Tuesday, August 15th. Last year, the action was wild. Don't miss out. Get your tickets today. Go to npsondirt.com for tickets and camping info.
Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Our savory potato sides can be prepared any way you like. Serve warm or chilled, as a main or as a side. Tiffany Gate Fresh Gourmet. Create your way to great taste.
Rev up your engines and get ready for some high-octane action. GeForce TV is your one-stop destination for all the best racing action across Ontario. With free live coverage of the APC Series, Bushwick Speedway, Southern Ontario Sprints, and much more. You won't miss a single moment of the excitement. Whether you're a diehard fan or a casual viewer, GeForce TV has everything you need to stay up to date on the latest racing news and events. Head to our website at GeForceTV.net and start watching today. Get ready to experience the NASCAR Pinty Series Power Hour. Join your host and wingman Cam K every Monday night at 7 p.m. on GeForce TV for an hour of non-stop excitement and in-depth analysis of the hottest racing series around. From the latest race highlights to expert analysis and insider commentary, you'll get an exclusive look at everything you need to know about the NASCAR Pinty Series. Tune in for the NASCAR Pinty Series Power Hour, the ultimate destination for race fans everywhere.
You're so tasty. Drive me crazy. Ain't nothing I can do.
Welcome back to Sunset Speedway, where we send it down to Clinton Jeffrey, who is standing by with Scott Marshall from Stewart's Equipment.
Well, Scott, it's all you. I'll hand the mic over. Get us rolling.
Beautiful. Thank you, guys. On behalf of Stewart's Equipment and Kubota Canada, drivers, please start your engines.
Cars are fired up on the front straightaway. Official walking up and down, getting the thumbs up from each of the drivers along the way. Looks like everybody is fired and they are all good. Official bails out over the pit wall. Here goes the Stewart's Equipment promotional vehicle and the Sunset Speedway pace truck. But bit of a false start. They started to roll, then they stopped. A beautiful view from our camera ops down on the front straightaway. Jack's been doing a bang-up job all season long. See, I'm willing to sacrifice Clinton for the cause, but Jack has a lot of life ahead of him.
I don't even know where to start, Adam. So Jake Rowland in the 52, that is good news. Like Jack's getting the ride in the pace truck, eh? Good work. Eric De La Riva on point. So a couple of the Shaw Motorsports cars will start up front. De La Riva and the 97 Wicket.
We heard from Dale Shaw earlier. He's very confident with where his race cars are right now. He says they've got a lot of speed. They're testing well. They're showing well.
Well, if you remember the first time we were here, Blair Wicket was fast qualifier and ended up cutting down a tire, ended up 5 laps down, but was still faster than some of the leaders.
Let's start in the beer gardens, folks. Give these drivers a wave. They'll be waving back. Grab your hats, grab your program, grab your beer, but don't wave that too fast. You don't want to spill any. Give these drivers a wave, race fans. It is time to have a look at our ones to watch here tonight. They're a little deeper in the field than normal. One is the 52S, the driver from Fenton, Missouri. Kenny Schrader, one of the most likable drivers in the history of NASCAR racing. He has raced everything and everywhere. The other driver to watch just pulled down pit lane to the attention of his crew. That is Jake Sheridan. He is tied for the lead in points coming into tonight with Kyle Steckley. He will start at the back. From what we gather, they may have had a fuel issue earlier today that caused him problems in qualifying.
He's up and rolling. I saw Nick set a radio on the top of the car. I hope he got it before he started rolling away. Jake Sheridan's got his work cut out for him. He comes in tonight tied for the lead in points with Kyle Steckley in the 22. 4 points back. Looking for championship number 3. Again, fresh off a super late model win last night at Delaware Speedway. J.R. Fitzpatrick.
Drivers scrubbing those tires, getting some heat. And race fans, you're about to see one of the biggest tributes we can do in motorsports with Danny Benedict taking on the missing man formation. We invite Brendan Doherty to talk about the reason we are doing this.
The end of this week, we lost a good friend of ours, a family member, and Alan Lincoln. Started out here as a young fan, here with his family. His mom and dad raced here at Sunset, and he found his way into pretty much every Victory Lane photo you could find. I've got a collection of them at home that I'll cherish forever. Alan became an announcer and a racer here at Sunset, and this week he lost his battle to cancer. And Danny Benedict, a good friend, has organized this year tonight. And Godspeed, Alan. We love you.
Thank you so much, Brendan. We pay tribute to Alan Lankin. How about a big round of applause, race fans? A classy gesture by Danny Benedict, a heartfelt tribute by Brendan Doherty. And now we're going to do what we do on Saturday nights here at Sunset Speedway. We're going to go racing 100 laps for the Stewart's Equipment and Kubota 100. Eric Della Riva down low, Blair Wickett on the outside in that 97.
So we'll see how good that Shaw Motorsports team has got those cars here tonight. They were obviously both able to qualify inside the top 10. Della Riva, a podium finish here at race number 1. Wickett, probably the fastest car on the track that night, just a flat tire cost him. We'll see what happens on the break. It's going to be Wickett on the outside, Della Riva on the bottom, they'll dive into one. Side by side, they work through one. Josh Dottie trying to figure out who to follow. We got one around. It's Glenn Stiers down in 1 and 2. And I think we're going to see a quick caution here as the 0 has not got refired. And now he will, but right in the way of the field. Everybody hard on the binders.
Well, and I'll tell you what he did. Glenn Stiers has been running the NASCAR Pinty Series all season long. Every lap counts. So you get the car fired and you get going before you get lapped. Here with the APC, it really wouldn't have mattered much because he would have rejoined the field at the tail end. This will be a complete restart with no laps completed. So I don't believe we're going to need the use of the choose cone.
And this shouldn't take long to line up. Boys, you only got to go back about 45 seconds.
Well, guys, reports here on pit road. It started with the 52 of Schrader, got in a little bit hot, and everybody else checked up behind him, and Accordion into it. But yeah, the nose on the Schrader 52 does have a bit of damage, guys. Nothing that they're going to need to pit over, but it is out of spec.
That's a good way to put it.
Templates don't have to fit after, Adam. They just got to fit before.
That's right.
We had a situation earlier this year. Ray Morneau at Delaware in a late model. He got hit going into the corner, and the whole back end of the car was right up in the air. And he said he was burying guys through the corners, just absolutely burying them. But about halfway down the straightaway, the back end was up so high, creating so much drag. He said it was like a parachute.
So we're going to double them up. There's no choose rule at this point because it's a complete restart. Everybody going to restart where they were with the exception of our final row. Stiers and Jake Sheridan going to swap spots inside for outside.
The good news, it looks like that 52 car is running, so they've got, looks like they got their problem sorted out. He's got a lot of work to do to make up ground, but he's got 100 laps to do it. And then he's heading to a couple tracks where he wins to close the season. He's won at Sauble, which is our next stop in 2 weeks. And he's also a winner at Delaware in July, where we'll close out the season, the Great Canadian Weekend.
Yeah, and you can see the damage to the nose of Schrader's car. Once again, if you're just tuning in, Joe Lawrence blew up last week at Sauble. Tom Gibbons called him up, said, hey, I've got an engine here. If you want it, come and get it. So Tom Gibbons' power plant under the hood of Joe Lawrence. He'll start in the 5th spot.
Used to be powered by Mom. Now it's powered by Tom. Gibbons side by side with Stoddy. Meanwhile, Wickett side by side with Della Riva with the race lead through 3 and 4.
Leading lap number 1 is Blair Wickett in the 97, but Eric Della Riva still there on the inside. Wickett with a good run off of turn 2. Della Riva still down to the bottom. Wickett can't quite close the door yet.
They come in 10th and 12th in points here. Stoddy to the outside of Della Riva. Wickett's going to close the deal down in turn 1 and 2. The Polar Blair squirts out front. Meanwhile, Stoddy and Della Riva going at it for second.
And they're keeping pace with Blair Wickett for the time being. So Wickett out in front. Stoddy picks up second. Sparks out the back of the 74 of Della Riva down the front stretch as he gets on the binders heading into turn 1.
Through 3 and 4, the leaders will work now coming down the front stretch. Sheridan trying to get 2 for 1 at the back of the pack, 3 wide, but you see Wickett. Now Stoddy got him jacked up off the corner, tried to make a challenge, but Wickett able to get the power back down to the track.
Wow, Sheridan just sailed it down into turn number 3 to pass Glenn Stiers and Corey Luciano. Further up at the front, Blair Wickett hanging on to that lead.
He was 3 wide with him just a minute before that, unable to close the deal. That time he just sent it and pulled off the pass. Now a couple of 52s racing at the back. Schrader and Sheridan. You see them going at it. Sheridan, your point leader, trying to make his way through heavy traffic.
Josh Stoddy is making ground on corner entry, but Blair Wickett able to come off the corner with a good head of steam. Wickett a little bit loose there in 1 and 2. Stoddy closes in. He'll move to the inside in 3.
A little physical down the backstretch between Stoddy and the Polar Blair. Wickett holding them off for the time being. Now they'll work through 1 and 2. Wickett half a car length up on Stoddy.
They continue to battle side by side, door to door off of the 4th turn. Wickett leads by a nose that lap. Some sparks that time off of Stoddy down on the inside. So there's some bumps on the inside of the racetrack on the front straightaway that are significant enough that these cars are bottoming out. Stoddy will clear the 97 of Wickett. Wickett going to try to cross him over, but now he'll tuck back in line, settle into that 2nd position.
Josh Stoddy's got a yeoman's duty if he wants to claim this championship. He's 6th in points right now. He's 17 back, but what he's got going for him right now, he's got the bonus point for leading the lap, and he could be on pace to lead the most if he can keep that 17 out front. So big moment for Josh Stoddy here as he tries to get himself right back into the thick of the championship picture.
2 things to keep in mind. We enter this race with 8 points separating the top 5 drivers. The top 2 are Kyle Steckley in the 22 and Jake Sheridan in the 52. They are tied for the lead, so we have a tightly bunched field in the points. It's a matter of who's going to blink first, who's going to make a mistake and knock themselves out of contention.
So Steckley running 5th right now. Sheridan still deep in the pack. J.R. Fitzpatrick came in tonight 3rd in points. He runs 7th as we speak. Benedict and Joe Lawrence came in tied for 4th. Benedict runs 4th. Lawrence runs 6th. So that's how your championship combatants are doing. How about Kyle Steckley now? He goes to the wick out of turn 4. Looks like he's going to put a move on Benedict and try to finish it off down at 1 and 2.
Remember, Danny Benedict won this race in the opening round. It was a 150 lapper, taking a huge arc into the corner, but he's getting a good run off the turn. He's fending off the 22 of Kyle Steckley for the time being, but as they battle side by side, the top three pulling away.
So that battle, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th, that is 4 of your top 5 in the championship right there. So points at a premium. It's not just a case of passing a guy and picking up a point. When you pass him and pick up the point, you also take one away from him. So a 2-point swing in any position here.
No, that's for sure, as they continue to wage war side by side deeper in the field. Jake Sheridan really isn't making significant gains to get through this field in the 52 car. We're almost 20 laps into this 100-lap race. Sheridan still outside of the top 15.
Stoddy leads to 1 and 2. There you see Benedict and Steckley. They've been going at it for 4 or 5 laps now. What a great battle. Danny Benedict on the high side, and the youngster Kyle Steckley from Milverton on the bottom.
A couple of clean racers out there. Kyle Steckley and Danny Benedict race side by side. Sparks continue to fly up the 74 of Della Riva. Last time it was down in turn number 4. So these cars are really pinned to the ground.
The other one you were seeing a lot of sparks from was Steckley when he was on the inside groove. Not too much there now. He's moved to the outside. Now Benedict coming under fire from J.R. Fitzpatrick. As you see Chenoweth trying to make a move on Chase Pincinot. You got the 52 of Sheridan right behind that duo.
We've got a few battles through the field.
Sorry, Chenoweth almost right reared himself. He wasn't clear on Pincinot, and he almost put himself right in the fence.
Jake Sheridan going to get to the inside. We got a few side-by-side battles. Kenny Schrader alongside Pincinot. Jake Sheridan alongside Chenoweth. And further up, we got J.R. Fitzpatrick with Danny Benedict to his outside.
Two-time champ on the charge in the 84. Again, coming off a super late model win last night. Filling in for Dario Capriccio in the 03 car.
We take a split screen racing right now. Sheridan and Chenoweth are battling for the 12th spot out on the racetrack. J.R. Fitzpatrick and Danny Benedict battling for the 5th spot.
So Fitzpatrick has cleared Benedict. Sets his sights now on Kyle Steckley. He's got to pass Steckley. He wants to pick up some ground on this in this championship. Kyle Steckley's in pretty good position. Big picture-wise right now, Adam.
I'd have to agree as Joe Lawrence takes a run to the inside of Danny Benedict down the back straightaway. He'll come off of turn number 4 to try to clear the 54. Now he's going to clear him down into the entry of 1 and 2. So Danny Benedict not having the kind of run he'd like right now. The speed is not where he wants it to be in that North Country Property Maintenance number 54.
He's fallen back to 7th. Meanwhile, the Motor by Tom car, Paragon Office Installations, stepping up with that motor program for the 78. They got the motor from Tom Gibbons, and Joe Lawrence giving it a pretty good ride in 6th right now. You see good battle going on behind there. Taylor Holloway duking it out with Rick Spencer Walden. Who would have thought those guys would still be in the tail end of the top 10 right now?
No kidding. Rick Spencer Walton, the 31, definitely would expect a little bit more speed out of him. They've had a frustrating season. Ken Schrader to the inside of Sean Chenoweth. They do battle down in 3 and 4 down the front straightaway now. Schrader up to the driver's door of that 89C as he battles for position.
Here you see Rick Spencer Walton, winner on tour a couple times last year in that 2-speed Motorsports number 31. There's our guest of honor, Ken Schrader in the 22. Him and Sean Chenoweth been like this for a few laps now, and it's got to be cool for anybody, whether it be Chenoweth or any one of the other Ontario guys, just to be able to go door to door with a Winston Cup legend like that for a number of laps here at Sunset tonight.
And forget about NASCAR, just a racing legend. The things he has done in a race car, not many people have been able to do.
And most of the time when those guys, whether it be Ken Schrader, Kenny Wallace come to town, you know, the guys do race it with a lot of respect, and absolute blast watching those two go at it. Hopefully Chenoweth's having a good time out there. I'm sure he'd like to find some more speed. Now Josh Stoddy, your leader, he's got himself into some lap traffic, works around the 0 of Glenn Stiers. There you see Shea Gemmel. Him and Tom Gibbons have both caught up to Rick Spencer-Walt.
Yeah, Spencer Walt struggling with a handle on that 31. It opened the door. Tom Gibbons couldn't quite get in there, but it allowed Shea Gemmel to make a move on Gibbons.
Steckley up to third now. He gets around Della Riva off turn 4. So your point leader up into third. And he's brought JR with him.
Fitzpatrick to the inside of Steckley now. They'll battle off at turn 2. That's a side-by-side race for the third spot as Danny Benedict is on pit road in the 54.
Oh, this is big trouble for Benedict in the championship conversation. Meanwhile, one lap after putting 2 tires down in the dirt, J.R. Fitzpatrick has completed the pass, and he leads the way over Kyle Steckley for third right now. So J.R. Fitzpatrick trying to close up that point lead that Steckley's got.
Shea Gemmel up into the 8th spot. Now we'll try to track down Taylor Holdaway in 7th. Tom Gibbons to the inside of Spencer Walt as well. He's got Junior Farley right behind him. Jake Sheridan in that 52 is starting to close in on that battle. So Sheridan trying to salvage his race. The race leader, though, is only a straightaway behind that 52. Josh Stoddy is making tracks. He's already put Corey Luciano a lap down, and now he closes in on Chase Pinsino in the 22P.
Pinsino, rookie on tour. Concentrate now on the late model program. And he's caught up to Chenoweth and Schrader now. 41 laps in the books, 59 to go. So just picking him up and putting him down right here now. Spencer Walt in trouble. He's got the 52 trying to make a move on him.
Yeah, Junior Farley gets around the 31 of Spencer Walt. Now Jake Sheridan going to drive to the inside in that 52. Josh Stoddy now just over half a straightaway behind these drivers, but he's got a few other cars between himself and Rick Spencer Walt, but not the kind of night we're used to seeing out of the 31W as he's sliding backwards through this field.
Yeah, well, I don't think the 52's got a car to win tonight, Adam. He might still have a chance to race up into the top 5 and alleviate the disaster
trouble.
earlier.
Trouble in turn number 2. Corey Luciano goes around in a cloud of smoke. There's a number of drivers who will be thrilled to see that yellow flag. Luciano going to drive up out of harm's way. A new paint scheme on the 94 here this weekend. Holy moly. Great green flag stretch of racing there by these drivers. Josh Stoddy out in front. He had opened up that advantage, but really Blair Wickett was keeping pace at that point. Now we're going to find out just how fast J.R. Fitzpatrick, Joe Lawrence. Joe Lawrence got around Kyle Steckley, so Lawrence is up into the 4th spot.
Well, guys, big props down here for Danny Benedict. They were revving this motor up, trying to get it going. Now they have turned it off. So we'll try and find out what the deal is here. Cowboy Dan, what do you know?
We think we got an ignition miss somewhere they're trying to find, and they said it's inconsistent, but there's a miss, and it's backfiring, and yeah, we're not sure what we got going on here.
Thanks, Dan, for your time in the middle of it all. We get the story. Ignition problems for the 54 here, Danny Benedict.
Tom Gibbons' 10 machine is down here on pit road. They're having a look under the rear end of that race car. Jack stand's coming out, so it might be something they feel is going to take a minute to get under the car. Down towards turn 4, Sean Chenoweth and Corey Luciano onto pit road as well.
We just had a replay of the Luciano spin. You couldn't tell. Wickett was right there. That's all I'll tell you is Wickett was right there. But no concrete evidence of any shenanigans down there. You see.
Well, down here in the Benedict pit, now they're going to the carburetor. I feel it might be a fuel issue as they start working on the top end.
Paul Genioli right in there. I think I've seen him working on about 6 cars so far tonight.
Smart dude is Paul Genioli.
I'll tell you, before he became a full-time crew member, he could drive.
He ran with the NASCAR Pinty Series at least once, I remember, back at Kawartha back in the early years. I don't know what else he raced, though.
Raced a bunch of sportsman races in a sportsman ride with the Ontario Sportsman Series. Had a few rides there, was impressive.
Here comes the choose cone. Stoddy going to choose the outside, Wicket to the inside.
Yeah, like the zero, he's choosing, but he should be choosing to go to the back.
Yeah, that throws a bit of a wrench in there. Steyer should be.
But it was a lapped car before that caution came out.
So Corey Luciano and Glenn Steyers are 1 lap down.
84 has slowed down the backstretch.
Yeah, J.R. Fitzpatrick in that 84. Is he going to try to make that hard left turn? Yes, he is.
To pit road.
And I don't think there's any steam under the hood of that 84. And he came to, so this could be an extreme veteran move. Fitzpatrick knows if he'd have rolled onto pit road, they could have gone green.
Yeah, we'd be back under green by now.
So he stopped the car, and he definitely applied the brakes down there at the entrance to pit road. He's still not going to have much time. Now the car is rolling ever so slightly there in turn 3.
Wow, and they just keep falling one by one. Of our top 5 championship contenders, we've got one who didn't qualify well, had to start at the back, has not had his normal speed. That's Jake Sheridan. We've got Benedict with motor problems. We've got the 82 who has now died off of turn 3.
Okay, now the car took fire. Is he going to pull all the way around and return to the racing surface?
So the only 2 of the top 5 in points that are out there is Kyle Steckley and Joe Lawrence.
And the crew is going to work, and they're looking at the area of the battery. That's the only thing I can think of on the left rear of that race car that they'd be focused on.
Yeah, I think you're right. They've got it in hand, Adam, a new battery in hand already here. From Passers, got it there. They're going to go to work on the 84. Same problem we saw earlier on the Dyson 28 in the exact same pit stall.
Ooh.
The irony.
Numerology at work. The 1 to go signal's been given. So if there's anyone I could have working on that, it'd be Ted McAllister down there in the pits with J.R. Fitzpatrick, but the 1 to go signal being given.
They're going to lift the hood on the 84 as well to see what else might be going on. But it's a battery swap.
Josh Stoddy in the 17 going to lead us back to green in that Ridgeline sponsored green 17.
Green's out. Stoddy gets a good jump on Wicket down into 1 and 2. Stoddy will roll the top, but Wicket's going to fight back on the bottom. Meanwhile, you got 2 of the championship contenders running 3rd and 4th.
Wicket runs well here at Sunset after he cut that tire earlier this season. He was running with the fastest cars on the racetrack. And look at that, Kyle Steckley, who had lost a couple of spots just prior to that yellow flag, fighting for all he's worth up there. Whoa, contact. Blair Wicket gets all sorts of crossed up down into 3.
Meanwhile, Joe Lawrence goes to work on the inside of Wicket. Wicket bounced off the 22, and it's going to cost him a couple of spots as both Steckley and Lawrence mosey on by.
Josh Stoddy out in front with 3 car lengths advantage over Kyle Steckley back in the 3rd spot. Joe Lawrence trying to clear the 97 of Blair Wicket. Wicket going to settle into 4th there just in front of Taylor Holdaway.
Holdaway up into the top 5 now. You get Della Riva, Junior Farley racing for 6th and 7th. Shea Gemmel, and now Jake Sheridan up into 8th and 9th.
Great rebound for Jake Sheridan after a tough start to his afternoon. Out there on the inside of Shea Gemmel, right behind Junior Farley. He'll drive it deep into turn 3, so no opportunity for Dalla Riva or Gemmel to get to the bottom of the racetrack.
Stoddy opens up about 4 or 5 car lengths over Steckley out front. And it's a couple car lengths back to Lawrence. There you see a battle deep in the pack as one of your championship contenders, Jake Sheridan, trying to make up some ground. He's got around Shea Gemmel. Now he's working the 74 at Della Riva through 1 and 2.
Right on the tracks of Junior Farley as Farley drives down into turn 3. They're right behind Taylor Holdaway in the 41. Halfway through this, Stewart's Equipment and Kubota 150 laps down, 50 laps to go.
It's Stoddy, your leader. Steckley second. Lawrence third. Wickett in fourth. Fifth is the 41 of Holloway.
Oh, trouble. Trouble in turn 4. Chase Pinsino goes around. He'd been in a battle with Sean Chenoweth. Glenn Stiers had just been making a move on the Corey Luciano 94. Both of those drivers were able to avoid that trouble. So Clinton Jeffrey, what's the word down there in the 84 pit with J.R. Fitzpatrick?
Still working on the battery, guys. A tough break for J.R. Fitzpatrick here. You know, it's crazy how you can win everything in the land last year and have troubles this year.
Racing is a humbling sport. Whatever you accomplished yesterday doesn't matter today.
Tough to get you some looks there as they're all crowding around the gap. But yeah, still working on getting the terminals reattached here. Almost the same problem we saw with Brian Dyson.
And at least 6 laps off the pace at this point. I believe he went back to green on lap 44. Now Tom Gibbons to pit road as well. He was running just inside the top 10, I believe. Going on the right side of that car, they got somebody in the window as well, working on the right rear. Here comes Daryl Timmermans, waddling down to see how they're doing.
Waddling down. He saunters.
Saunters, there you go.
Shea Gemmel in the 3 machine coming on to pit road as well. Gibbons being sent back onto the racetrack. We can't see what's going on with the Shea Gemmel 3 machine. The Sunset Speedway Victory Lane sign sort of impeding our view there, but there's not many crew members over the wall. A bunch of them still on the other side. Oh, J.R. Fitzpatrick rolling in that 84 machine, so he will rejoin the field numerous laps down. We're looking at a replay here of Corey Luciano pulling up behind Sean Chenoweth in the 89C.
Pinsino, actually.
Oh, Pinsino, I'm sorry.
And I think it looked like Chenoweth just brake checked him.
Well, if you're going to get that close, Chenoweth just wanted to stop and give him a better look at whatever it was he was trying to see.
But how about this run by Kyle Steckley? Watching him fall around him. All the other championship contenders having issues. And the one thing about him, Adam, he seems to have the knack for never putting the car in the wrong spot. You know, he even when he gave up the 2 positions.
You're right.
You know, on that restart.
There was that one time at Flamborough.
He did get pushed up by Wickett there. He just gave Wickett lots of room, turned around and passed him the next corner. It almost, I hate to say this because he was so talented, or is so talented, it's almost Brandon Watson-ish.
Yeah, his level of poise is way beyond his years.
Very smart behind the wheel of that race car. And that's why he's won 2 races this year and is in championship contention.
Oh, you're absolutely right. So they're trying to get the 0 Glenn Stiers back behind the lead lap cars, and I think they've done so. So the choose cone is coming out on the front straightaway. Mr. Cone has been placed. And it's time for the field to choose.
And we still haven't seen anything better than Mr. Cone come in. Because there's got to be something better.
Joe Lawrence getting the opportunity to move up to that front row. Taylor Holdaway is going to restart on the second row. So Blair Wickett gave up a little bit of track position, but he obviously feels better up there on the outside. And Ken Schrader's got to be wondering if it's Christmas in August. He just went from basically outside of the top 10. He was running 10th, and he's going to restart up in 5th.
Stoddy, your leader. on the outside. Lawrence will restart second. Steckling and Holdaway in row 3. Wickett and Schrader in row 4. Junior Farley. Sean Chenoweth, row 5. Then you've got the 10 of Gibbons and the 52 of Jake Sheridan up into row 5, rounding out the top 10. So green set to fly. It's in the air. Stoddy gets a jump on Lawrence, but Lawrence hanging tough on the bottom through 1 and 2.
Dirt flies up. Joe Lawrence dips those left side tires right down off the racetrack. Stoddy with the advantage into 3, but Joe Lawrence still with the nose of that 78 to the inside.
Lawrence is not going down without a fight. Car owned by his brother Chris. Motor from Tom Gibbons. Again, some great companies coming on board. Great Lakes Concrete and Paragon Office Installations helping that Lawrence family team out. They funded their team this year for the first part of the year through Bone Stock Rentals. 3rd and in championship contention, your 2020 champion.
And my mistake, I think I called it Paragon Insulation when I introduced him. It's Paragon Installations. Jake Sheridan up on the outside of Junior Farley. Sorry, Jamie.
I think you can call them whatever they want as long as they're running 3rd.
That's a good point.
No complaints with that 78 showing the way up front, up into 3rd spot. And trying to track down these front 2. Again, this could be your top 3 in points coming out of here tonight, running 1, 2, 3 right now.
Well, there's a reason why they're the top 3 in points, that's for sure. They've opened a gap over a side-by-side battle for the 4th spot. Blair Wickett inching ever closer forward to retaking that position over Taylor Holdaway. Jake Sheridan right behind him. Sheridan not quite ready to commit to which lane he wants to run. Now we'll dive it to the inside.
Wickett door slammed Taylor Holdaway down the end of the backstretch last time around and then almost run him up into the wall off turn 4. So you can bet that 41 machine of Taylor Holdaway not happy behind the wheel right now. And worse, he's getting jacked up by Junior Farley now.
That car not handling great. He's unable to get the power down. He's loose out there. That allows Junior Farley to get to the left rear corner and give him a nudge.
I find it even becomes tougher to get the power down when the rear end of your car's all jacked up in the air.
It is.
Out front, Stoddy still about 5, call it 6, maybe 7 car lengths over Kyle Steckley, who's got Joe Lawrence tucked in his back pocket.
And Kyle Steckley had slid backwards. He had lost a couple of spots when Fitzpatrick got around him, and I believe Joe Lawrence had gotten around him, but the car is coming to him. We've got 40 laps to go here at Sunset.
Your leader off turn 2 in that beautiful Ridgeline lubricant sponsored entry. Prime time, Josh Stoddy looking for his 2nd career win on tour. Now back to that battle between the 72 of Farley and the 41 of Taylor Holdaway. It's been getting a little bit physical. We'll see what happens down here through 1 and 2.
Ken Schrader right behind them in that 52 machine. Identical look between him and Kyle Steckley's 22. Kyle Steckley feeling the pressure right now from Joe Lawrence in that battle for the 2nd spot. But still, Junior Farley side by side with Taylor Holdaway. He'll try to clear him here in 3 and 4, but I don't think he's going to do it yet. There he goes.
Well, he just gave him the old slide job on the way out of the corner. Farley will clear Taylor Holdaway. And Holdaway having some troubles getting back up to speed here as he's lost a bunch of spots since his most recent restart.
With 35 laps to go this time at the start-finish line, Kyle Steckley is slowly closing that gap on Josh Stoddy. We'll have a look at the times, the most recent lap. I mean, they're running within hundredths of a second of each other.
Well, that's APC late model racing. You got the whole field separated by 3 or 4 tenths of a second. Just tight, competitive racing. J.R. Fitzpatrick just rooting the 3 out of the way. And I'm sure Shea Gemmel's not happy considering the 84 is about 5 laps down. But they do have history over the last number of years.
Yeah, plenty of it. And it's worse when your car is not handling right, and Shea Gemmel's car is not running great tonight. It's that much more frustrating. He is down in line just ahead of Chase Pincinot.
Great battles going on everywhere through the field. including that shuffle back there between Gemmel, Pinsino, and Chenoweth. Meanwhile, you see Kyle Steckley, the 22, the youngster out of Milverton, with Joe Lawrence beating down the back door. Lawrence, the 2020 champ. Kyle Steckley, 2023 or 2022 runner-up.
Ken Schrader got to the inside of Taylor Holdaway to battle him for position. Holdaway fended him off, but Schrader not going to give up. He's back to the inside. That's a battle for the 7th spot. Up at the front, Joe Lawrence all over the back of Kyle Steckley. He'll enter turn number 1 a little bit high. Steckley bobbled in 2. Here goes Lawrence to the inside.
Lawrence throws it down on the bottom. Steckley's going to give him lots of room. I think Steckley knew it was only a matter of time before that 78 was going to mosey on by. So he'll tuck in line behind Joe Lawrence.
Well, Joe Lawrence entered the race at Sauble Speedway last week leading in the point standings. He left 8 points behind in a tie for the 4th spot. So it was a cruel night at Sauble Speedway. He's got some making up to do, and he is right back up on the wheel doing that here tonight at Sunset.
Feel pretty bad. We've had battles for 2nd and battles for 4th and 5th, and now you get your leader on the screen. We haven't probably talked as much about him as we should have. Primetime Josh Stoddy in that Ridgeline Lubricants machine. They brought Ridgeline to the party last year. They've got 2 different cars, 2 different paint schemes. They run 2 different kind of programs. They've got the Ridgeline program and the Canadian Flat Roof program. That other car is red and yellow. They have one car that they use at a couple spots and the other car they use a couple different spots. And Stoddy now looking for career win number 2 here at Sunset Speedway. The first one came back in 2022 at his home track of Sauble, and he would love to get back to victory lane here today, and came into tonight 6th in points. Not sure if he's got enough to overcome anybody who's leading the championship, but he can gain some ground there.
Things are stacking up behind Rick Spencer Walton at 31W. He is holding off Tom Gibbons, Shea Gemmel, Chase Pinsino behind them. Sean Chenoweth is racing alongside Eric Della Riva.
Is there anybody on the property, Adam, that Sean Chenoweth hasn't raced with tonight? I think he's raced with pretty much everybody here, except maybe the Bone Stock guys.
And that car still looks pristine, that beautiful 89 London Recreational Racing. Tom Gibbons had to check up to avoid going through Rick Spencer Walt. Shea Gemmel gives a nudge to Tom Gibbons. He'll drive to the inside. Now Chase Pinsino going to try to do the same thing off of turn 2. We've got 20 laps to go.
Only 19 to go at the stripe next time by. Your leader now working 3 and 4. That's Josh Stoddy. There you see Della Riva. There's Pinsino and Gibbons doing battle. Split screen of the same battle there. Couple different angles of it.
Contact. Yeah. Rick Spencer Walt goes around. Shea Gemmel had been battling with him. There was a little bit of contact there. Spencer Walt goes around in turn 4. And again, you know, when your car is not running as well as you'd like and you get spun out, he's going to get rolling in the right direction. Coincidentally, right in front of Shea Gemmel. And now he'll be right behind Shea Gemmel. Now he'll be right underneath the rear end of Shea Gemmel.
He's trying to see what kind of gear Shea's running.
Well, the shirts say it. So let's see if we can. So Spencer, the flagman, the junior flagman behind the stand, has one of the shirts on of Rick Spencer Walt. If we've got a camera operator that can point down that way. And it tells the story of Rick's racing mantra.
FAFO, I think that's what they call it, right? FAFO?
Guys, I got Danny Bannock here. Danny, you're sitting on the wall. This isn't how you wanted your night to go. What happened here?
Yeah, I had some motor problems there right from the drop of the green flag. So not exactly sure what happened. Don't know if it got some water or something in the carb during that rain break, but definitely not the day we were looking for with our North Country Property Maintenance 54.
Thanks for your time, Danny.
Thank you.
Danny Bennett, guys, now a spectator, going to finish his night here on the wall.
That's as disappointed as I've ever seen Danny Benedict as you looked at that replay. Now give us everybody able to avoid, so that was impressive. Spencer, if you can go back to that same camera. Hey, Junior Flagger, turn back around to the camera for us. There we go. That is the Rick Spencer Walsh shirt right there being sported by the Junior Flagger. Great work by the camera operator, and classy of them to bleep out the first word, but they're selling like hotcakes. I understand they sold out of those shirts, I believe, but
I think it's fork around and find out.
I think so.
Yep, that's what we're going with. Leave something to the imagination.
Thanks, young man. He's also a great flagger.
He's doing pretty good down there. And how frustrating now is it for J.R. Fitzpatrick? You passed all those cars, but now you just got to go right back to the back. And we saw this at the first race here this year. We've talked about it. Blair Wickett had a tire go down, lost 5 laps, and there was some guys commenting on Facebook, and Blair said, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. I was trying to get a lap back or do something. I was fast. I didn't wreck anybody. I didn't hit anybody. I just had a fast race car, and JR's in that boat here. He's got a fast race car. He's about 8 laps down, though.
No, and you can't blame him for that. Taylor Holdaway down on pit road. I see Clinton Jeffrey down in the vicinity. Not sure if there's anything to report or not.
Yeah, it looked like it might have been an adjustment, Adam, or a problem with the sway bar. We'll get here and talk to the crew in just a minute. But they did have some vice grips, some pliers, and a couple wrenches out here, so we'll try and find out what they were working on.
Shane Gemmel back onto pit lane.
Hey? What's up with the car, guys? What was wrong with the car?
He's just too loose getting in there, and it was good at the beginning, but he's just losing it on the long run. So hopefully this helps him get back up front.
Thanks, guys. There you have it from the crew. Taylor Holdaway loose in.
I think that was Jade Franklin down there. Like he was in action last week in a Legend car, wasn't he?
That's right, he was.
Yeah.
Fun to see that many Legends cars up at Sauble Speedway. It was a tough night for them. It was a tough night for most of the drivers at Sauble Speedway last week, but some nights go like that. I think they've come back and had a great showing here. It's been fun racing.
Ken Schrader missed that cone by inches just there. He could not have come any closer to the cone.
You don't have to miss it by much, you just have to miss it. Well, this will be a fun restart. Blair Wickett looking to get himself back on the podium. He's had some great runs as of late. Junior Farley, remember the speed he showed up at Sauble Speedway?
I just got a note from Karen. She said, when you're done, go to the souvenir stand and bring me home one of those Rick Spencer Walsh shirts. There you go. I've been told.
Yep.
Lawrence and Stoddy up front. And we'll see what Joe Lawrence has got here in the late stages with 20 to go. Green in the air.
Field rumbles down the back straightaway. Joe Lawrence with a good launch on the bottom. They are neck and neck, side by side into 3 and 4. Who's going to have the advantage of a 4?
Couple of hungry drivers. Neither one has been to victory lane here in 2023. It's still Lawrence on the bottom and Stoddy up top.
Joe Lawrence lost the nose there in turn 2. He couldn't get back to the throttle quick enough. The car pushed up. He kept it off of Josh Stoddy, but lost a little bit of speed. He'll drop back to second. Kyle Steckley third. Blair Wickett going to pick up in fourth where he was. Then they're side by side for fifth. Junior Farley in the 72 and the 52 of Jake Sheridan.
How about that 52 of Jake Sheridan? Had to start at the back of the pack here tonight. He's climbed his way up into the top 5. Co-point leader coming into tonight. He's definitely not going to have as much damage done to his championship hopes as we were looking at earlier.
Joe Lawrence is starting to push the go button. He's keeping the pressure on Josh Stoddy. forced him into a mistake there in turn number 1. Stoddy got a little bit too low. The car shot up the racetrack. Not quite enough for Lawrence to make a move, but Lawrence looks to the inside.
Joe Lawrence swings it down to the bottom. Stoddy will close the bottom lane, but slides up a bit. Lawrence still has that bottom lane open with 15 to go. Can't quite capitalize on it as he's trying everything he can to get by primetime Josh Stoddy.
Stoddy has opened up his line just a little bit. He's entering higher. In fact, he's staying higher on the racetrack, about a half a lane off the bottom. Joe Lawrence able to roll the bottom of the racetrack, but not quite able to pull alongside our race leader.
That high entry cost us 17 late last week. We'll see what happens here. Now it seems to be working for him. He's opened up about a half a car length over Lawrence, just inching away every corner.
Kyle Steckley back into the 3rd spot, a few car lengths off that battle. He's got Blair Wickett a car length behind him. A car length behind him runs Jake Sheridan. So 3rd back all the way to the 8th spot. Nobody's really applying the pressure, but they're still within striking distance. But the top 2 have definitely opened a gap.
See what happens here. The 5th place driver is Jake Sheridan. He's got Blair Wickett right in front of him. And then the co-championship leader, Steckley, right in front of Wickett. So Sheridan trying to rally here late and gain as many points as he can on a tough night.
10 laps to go in the Stewart's Equipment and Kubota 100. Joe Lawrence with a great run off at turn number 2. He'll close that gap right up on the back bumper of Stoddy as they work off of 4.
Lawrence takes a peek to the inside now. Not quite close enough to make the challenge, but Stoddy's got to be on the defense with less than 10 to go, trying to hold off the 2020 champ.
Joe Lawrence is playing some mental games right now. He's showing that nose. He's trying to get Josh Stoddy looking in his mirror, force him into a mistake. He'll enter turn 1 a little bit higher. He's really getting a good run through turn 2.
He's able to hold Lawrence off for the time being. Here's where Lawrence is really able to go to the throttle and go to the whip, especially off that turn 4 area. That's where he seems to be best. Stoddy's a little better off turn 2. Lawrence is better at the other end of the track.
Jake Sheridan working over Blair Wickett for the 4th spot. Wouldn't it be something if he can finish within 1 spot of the driver he's tied with the lead with? Kyle Steckley.
Run by that Pride Seeds machine from the back of the pack. Jake Sheridan, he's got to be beat when this one's done. 5 to go at the line this time by. He has driven his butt off from the back of the field up into 4th. It's Stoddy up front.
Oh, trouble. I watched that start. Chase Pinsino goes around in turn number 4. I watched Derek Della Riva. He was about a car length behind. And then all of a sudden, you could see the trajectory of his car. He's going to hit the 22, and the 22 is going to have a tough time saving that.
Yeah. So Pinsino, I believe that's the 2nd time he's been around down in turn 4 tonight. Tough break for the Bell River driver.
It's been a lot, and it's been mostly innocent spins. Like, it hasn't been wrecks tonight, thank goodness, knock on wood. 6 laps remain. Joe Lawrence, looks like on the short run, Joe Lawrence is able to really contend with Josh Stoddy, but Stoddy, as long as he hits his marks, doing a great job out in front.
Stoddy definitely did not want to see the caution as well. He had a comfortable little lead over Joe Lawrence.
J.R. Fitzpatrick in the 84 again having to drop to the tail end of the field. Taylor Holdaway down on pit road. It looks like his night is done in that 41 machine. So we entered tonight 5 drivers within 8 points. This is not going to be a good showing for J.R. Fitzpatrick in the 84. Kyle Steckley and Jake Sheridan were tied at the top. Joe Lawrence was 8 points behind, so he'll close in a little bit, although there's still a lot of racing yet to come.
Adam, I got Taylor Holdaway here. Taylor, a couple weeks back into it, are you having fun? Obviously, they told us the car was loose in. What took you out of this one?
Yeah, I mean, we just worked on it all day, and it's tough coming out here with no practice, just jumping in a car and trying to get a feel for it. And just fought loose in all day. We were good for the first 50 laps. It just started getting really bad at the end there and kind of running around the back of the lead lap. It's not worth wrecking anybody else or ourselves. So figured we park it and kind of work on it for next time.
Right on. Thanks for your time. Taylor Holdaway, guys, getting back in the seat.
Eric Della Riva being directed to the tail end of the field. Everybody going by on the outside. Let's see if Chase Pinsino takes his time. Pinsino and Della Riva will go down the front straightaway side by side. Have you not spent enough time around each other?
So Josh Stoddy came in tonight 6th in points, 17 points back. If they were to end the way they are now, he would cut that deficit down to 12, and 12-point lead with 2 races to go. Put Josh Stoddy right back in the championship picture, heading to Sauble Beach.
And you've got to look at it. It's like chopping down a tree, right? You don't do it in one swing. You've got to take different swings at it, try to close that gap, and remind yourself that you only control what you control.
Well, if anybody deserves it tonight, it's Josh Stoddy, but I don't think Joe Lawrence cares.
6-lap run to the finish here. Josh Stoddy is the control car. He fires first.
How about Jake the Snake? We'll restart third.
He's got the opportunity to get around Kyle Steckley.
Jake Sheridan could be the point leader when we leave here tonight. Who would have thought that a half an hour ago?
Well, if he does, they might consume some alcohol tonight because that car has already consumed some alcohol today.
So it looks like they're going to get the one to go this time by. Lawrence, Stoddy, Sheridan, Steckley. I think your winner is going to come from those 4. But anything can happen, and probably will in the next 6 laps. Couple miles of racing left to go. Pace truck throws on down to pit road. Lawrence on the inside, Stoddy the control car on the high side, Sean Gibbs, green flag in the air. We're off and running with 6 laps left to go.
Joe Lawrence got as good a restart as you can get while not having the lead at the stripe. He eases out in front going down into turn number 3. Coming off of 4, who's it going to be at the line? It's Joe Lawrence by a nose.
Oh, that's big. Lawrence will pick up a bonus point for leading the lap. That will help out.
I don't know where the transponder line is, but Stoddy led.
Oh, wow. Well, this time he's got him, I think, off turn 4. Lawrence will slide up in front of Stoddy. Gave him the slide job off 3 and 4. And we'll see if Stoddy can answer back with 3.5 to go.
Oh, Blair Wickett slides up into the wall. He was still with the nose to the outside of Jake Sheridan. Sheridan cleared himself off of turn number 2, and Wickett scraped along the outside concrete at the front. Josh Stoddy right up to the back end to Joe Lawrence. It'll be 2 to go this time.
I don't think Josh Stoddy is done with Joe Lawrence. Let's see what happens down into turn 1. Little less than 2 laps to go. Lawrence leads.
Contact.
Stoddy second. Off turn 2 and down the backstretch.
Stoddy lightened him up just a little bit there in 1 and 2. Joe Lawrence was able to hang on to it. Kyle Steckley right there as well. The white flag is out.
Tough break for Stoddy. He was trying to go after Lawrence while Steckley got into the back of him. And it looks like Lawrence is finally going to go back to victory lane. Will he be able to do it off turn 4? Stoddy's right there. Lawrence, your winner.
Stoddy comes home in second. What a race. Kyle Steckley third. Jake Sheridan fourth. Blair Wickett hangs on to 5th. Junior Farley 6th. Kenny Schrader finishes 7th. Tom Gibbons 8th. Shea Gemmel is 9th, with Sean Chenoweth rounding out the top 10. VP Fuels victory lane is going to be a place of celebration for Joe Lawrence, Chris Lawrence, and that crew.
And I've done the heavy lifting, Adam, so you didn't have to. I've got Steckley by 1 point over Jake Sheridan, and Joe Lawrence now just 3 points back.
Wow.
3 drivers within 3 points to settle this one with a couple races left to go.
What a finish that was. A 6-lap sprint to the checkered flag. These drivers let it all hang out. and I'm sure Josh Dottie's not going to have much of a smile on his face, but what a race that was between Joe Lawrence, Josh Dottie. Kyle Steckley was right there in the mix.
Captain Chris down here points to Joe and says, let's go climb. Joe Lawrence gets the helmet off, ladies and gentlemen. He's about to climb out here into VP Fuel's victory lane. Let's talk about this. Mom bought them a motor. It blew up last week at Sauble. They get a motor from Tom Gibbons, and here he comes into victory lane and pulls it off. Joe Lawrence into VP Fuel's victory lane. Let's go. They're going for the fences. Go with them, Jack. They got a celebration to make, and they're coming to you fans here. How about it for the Lawrence crew?
Helio Castro Lawrence. You notice how the big guy on the crew didn't go after the fence, right? Jay, you just keep your feet on the ground.
Well, Joe, what can you say about the week you've had? You know, when we last talked, you were on turn 4 at Sauble. The motor was blown. Tell us about your week, man.
It was long. These guys worked so hard this week just to get this put together. Again, I got to thank Tom Gibbons. He came to me after Sauble, the racing was over, and just said he has a motor. If I need it, let's make it happen. So thank him so much for that. And then Paragon jumped on big to help us get to the end with all these repairs we needed. And I don't even know what to say. Thank you.
Well, let's talk about some math. Jamie has it. You're 3 points back of the lead right now, unofficially. That's a pretty good rebound when last week you might have been done for the year.
Definitely. As a team, we said, you know what, let's go out and try and win the last 3. So 1 down, 2 to go. That's our mission here. These guys aren't going to quit working.
How about it for Joe Lawrence, everybody? What a run here tonight. Give us a second. We'll get him with second place.
Well, Josh Dottie down there leaning on the wall. I haven't seen much of a smile on his face. It was a heck of a run that he had, but came up 1 spot short. Clinton Jeffrey is with him right now.
Joe Lawrence in for a handshake and a hug. Josh, how bad does that one suck?
It sucks. I mean, Joe used to help me last year, found a pile of speed out of Joe, but Joe's one hell of a competitor, and congrats to their team, especially after last weekend blowing up and whatnot. But really proud of our efforts with our guys. We work hard. I've said it before, we're just a bunch of pavers from Chesley that try to do this on the weekend. So pretty good run for us. Really happy. Had the car to win, just 1 caution too many.
Talk to us about the last choose. You chose the outside. What was the thought process there?
My thought process, I guess, was Joe didn't have as good a drive as I did, I felt. And I felt if he got to the throttle too soon and got free off and someone got in the back of him, it might clear me. But it is what it is. It's hard racing. The outside worked till last. So pretty proud of our efforts. So really happy for our team. Get the pole, set fast time qualifier 2 weeks in a row, and get it in the podium where it deserves to be.
Classy finish there. You tried to work him over, but still let him finish. Good job, Josh.
Thanks.
Josh Dottie with a classy run to finish the night. Give us a second. We'll get in here with Kyle Steckley.
Kyle Steckley showed a lot of poise all night long. Comes home with a 3rd place finish. Good night in the points for Kyle Steckley. You know, some nights you're going to go out and blaze a trail and win, and some nights you got to take what you can get. Tonight, Kyle Steckley comes home 3rd.
Podium finish is still a great point tonight for you, Kyle. You know, these races seem to go up and down. You could be first 1 week and 13th the next week. This consistency is helping you out. Talk about it.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I don't think we were quite as fast as those front 2, but this is a place I struggle. Sunset's really unique, hard track to get a hold of. So top 5 finish 3rd is great for our team. I'm really proud of everyone on this APC Auto Parts Federated Stewart's Equipment car. Wish we could have got it done in the Stewart's Kubota 100, but I'll take 3rd place and move on to Sauble.
Well, there you have it from Kyle Steckley. He'll be our 3rd place finisher. Josh Dottie will be 2nd. And one final big round of applause for your winner tonight, Joe Lawrence, guys. That will finish things up trackside. We'll send it up to you to take us home.
How about that, Adam? We got 3 drivers within 3 points unofficially. And Joe Lawrence now has moved into the top 5 all-time in career wins in the APC Series with 5.
Pretty amazing. We'll take you through the full field, and then we'll send you home. Jake Sheridan comes home in the 4th spot. 5th was Blair Wickett.
6th was Junior Farley in the 72. Then Ken Schrader, a good run in 7th. 8th, Tom Gibbons. 9th was Shea Gemmell, and rounding out the top 10, Sean Chenoweth.
11th through 15th, Eric Della Riva in the 74, the 94 of Corey Luciano, the 22 of Chase Pinsino, the 31 of Rick Spencer Walton, and Glenn Stiers 15th.
84 of J.R. Fitzpatrick came home 16th, Taylor Holdaway in 17th, and Danny Benedict, the last car, scored in 18th.
Race fans, thank you so much for joining us tonight. It started out a little bit damp, but what a show it was. Things got hot as the evening went on behalf of Clinton Jeffrey, Brendan Doherty, Jamie Mosley. I'm Adam Ross saying thanks for coming out tonight. We will see you Monday and Tuesday for Muskegon Speedway, and 2 weekends from tonight at Sauble Speedway for the next round of the APC Series.
Copyrighted broadcast may not be reproduced, retransmitted, or used in any form without the authorized written consent of GeForce TV. GeForce TV would like to thank you for your support and for watching today's broadcast.